right?
Well, if it isn't Mr. Lucky.
That's right. I won the football contest again, so pay up, Shirley. 1 free lunch. I think I'll have a burger deluxe.
Hey, you got it.
Okay.
Dwayne, I can't believe it. You must be the luckiest guy in the world. You won 5 times in a row.
Now, Raj, once is luck and twice is luck. But when somebody does something 5 times in a row, they have a system.
I flunked English 5 times in a row, and I don't have a system.
Well, maybe you're just lucky.
Here you go, Dwayne. It's on the house.
Thanks, Shirley. Hey, Shirley.
Yeah.
This is a plain hamburger. I ordered a burger deluxe.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the pickle.
Thank you.
Do you really have a system, Dwayne?
Yeah, it took me weeks to work it out.
What is it?
I can't tell you. It's not perfected yet.
You picked 5 winners, and it's not perfected yet?
I only hit 1 score on the nose.
Dwayne, do you know there are gamblers who would pay big money just to know your football picks?
Really?
Sure. Rerun, your brother-in-law Ike would make a fortune.
He sort of gave up gambling.
Sort of. What does that mean?
It means he gambles, but his wife doesn't know.
Dwayne, do you realize if you had invested $10 in your own system, you'd be sitting here right now with $320 in your pocket?
Not in this neighborhood.
I know it's wrong, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Rerun, ask your brother-in-law Ike to call his bookie to make a bet for me.
Well, I'm not exactly Ike's favorite person, but I'll ask him.
Thanks, Rerun.
How much you want to bet?
$10.
$10, Raj? That's a lot of money. All right, who are you going to bet on?
Who am I gonna bet on? Dwayne, you're the one with the system. You're gonna tell me.
All right, but I don't want you to get mad at me if you lose, okay?
All right.
Hey, don't worry about that. Just give us the score of the game.
Okay, I'm going to need a newspaper.
Yes.
Here you go, Dwayne.
Thanks, Shirley. Hey, you got a newspaper you can lend me?
Dwayne, when you go to the newsstand, does the guy lend you a hamburger?
Shirley, this is important. Dwayne needs it to pick tonight's game.
I don't care.
I have $10 bet on the game.
I don't care.
If I win, I'll start tipping again.
Oh, 1 newspaper coming up. Please excuse me.
Hey, I'm right in the middle of an article.
Oh, this right here. Don't let me stop. There you go, Dwayne.
All right, Dwayne, make your prediction.
All right. Tampa Bay versus Oakland, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Looks good, brother. Okay, here it is. Okay. Tampa Bay 10, Oakland 7.
Are you sure?
Positive 10-7. Put that down as my picture.
Oh, you got it.
But you just predicted the upset of the year.
I did?
Yeah, Oakland is favored by 3 touchdowns. They're the Super Bowl champs. The paper says that Oakland's gonna kill Tampa Bay.
Hey, who are you gonna listen to? A bunch of football experts or Dwayne? Ask your brother-in-law to put $10 on Tampa Bay for me.
Okay, he has picked 5 winners in a row. Hey, by the way, my sister invited you guys over to have dinner and watch the game over our house tonight.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, are they still vegetarians?
Yeah, they don't eat anything that runs, jumps, swims, or tastes good.
Oh, hi, Freddie.
Hi, sis. Is that dinner?
That's very good. Look, if you want a snack, there's some carrot juice in the icebox.
Hey, well, get it out of there before it spoils my Twinkies.
You'd be a lot healthier if you watched what you ate.
Well, I gave up meat.
Gave up meat? Freddie, you're always eating burgers down at the soda shop.
The burgers at the soda shop are not meat.
They're not. Then what are they?
They're a combination of all the leftovers from the day before and anything brown.
Well, I don't care what they are. They're not good for you. Now, seriously, you better start taking care of your body.
Listen, Donna, this is my body, and I know what I need to keep it going.
Radial tires?
When is Ike coming home from work? I have to talk to him.
Well, he should be here any minute now. Oh, hey, I want to show you my new dress. Did I tell you? We're going to Hawaii.
Well, all right.
Hey, settle down now, hula hip. Chips. Listen, Ike and I are going alone.
Aloha.
Do you know this will be our first vacation together? Well, you wait till you see that dress.
Hey, Ike.
What?
What's happening?
Get your feet down off the furniture. That's what's happening.
Is that any way to talk to the man who's gonna make you rich?
Hey, man, put it down. Yeah. Hey, well, your picks have been right on, 5 out of 5, and I won $50. I didn't know you knew football. As a matter of fact, I didn't know you knew anything.
If you keep putting me down, I might forget who I like in tonight's game.
I don't need a fat swami for tonight's game. Everybody in their right mind knows that Oakland's gonna kill Tampa Bay.
Not according to my system. I'm predicting an upset. Tampa Bay 10, Oakland 7.
You out of your fat mind.
I haven't been wrong yet.
Look, don't I have the right to know why I'm betting my money?
Just be glad you're winning.
Tampa Bay, huh?
They're gonna win big.
They might just be worth a bet.
You could put your house on this one.
I don't own a house.
Stick with me and you will.
Oh, you are a house. Now, where's your sister?
She's upstairs.
Look, cover me. I'm gonna use the phone. Don't be me, fool.
Will you put $10 on the game for Raj?
Yeah, look. Just keep your eye on the bedroom door, and if Donna comes out, give me a signal.
Right. I'll stomp on the floor 3 times.
No, I said a signal, not an avalanche. Hey, yeah, man, look here. This is Ike. I want to place a bet. Yeah, Tampa Bay, $500. Yeah, I hope.
$500? What's wrong with you? I said bet big, not crazy. Where you gonna get that kind of money?
Hey, man, look, I got it. Look, now, it's upstairs in a drawer in an envelope marked Hawaii.
You're not betting the vacation money. How can you do that?
I can't lose. You got a foolproof system.
What if it's not?
Then I'm through being nice to you, fool. Yeah, man. Yeah, $500, man, Tampa Bay. That's what I said, sucker. Yeah, check. Ask me all the most stupid questions.
Oh, hi, honey.
Hey, baby.
La da 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 da. You like the dress?
Hey, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I got it especially for our trip to Hawaii. Oh, Ike, I can't believe it. After all these months of saving, we are finally going on vacation.
Hey, baby, enough about vacations right now. I am starved. What's for dinner?
Oh, your favorite. Eggplant stuffed with alfalfa sprouts and some soybean soup.
Oh, I just remembered something. I have to go to Roger's house.
For what?
Dinner.
But I thought Raj and Dwayne were coming here for dinner.
Nobody comes here for dinner. They come here to graves.
Hey, just be sure you're back in time for the game.
Don't worry, we'll be here. Bye, sis.
Okay.
Bye, bruh. That was delicious. What else you got in the kitchen?
Only thing left is the shelving paper.
I know I eat here a lot, but I promise I'll make it up to you.
What are you gonna do? Buy us a supermarket?
Hey, Rerun, did Ike make that call for me?
What call?
You know, the call to a friend. Rah, rah.
He doesn't know anybody named Ra Ra.
I think he means the $10.
Oh, yeah. I bet the game for you.
Ooh, gambling. Do you know what happens to people who gamble? When they lose and they can't pay, they get their thumbs broken.
D, you watch too many movies. That doesn't happen anymore.
Well, when Mama finds out.
Look, it was only a friendly little wager.
$10 is a lot of money.
Not anymore. These are inflationary times. What can you do with $10 these days?
You could shut me up for a year.
D, it wasn't really gambling because I can't lose. Dwayne's got a system.
Him?
Yeah, me. I won Rob's football contest 5 times in a row.
What's the system?
He won't tell. It's a secret.
Let me get this straight. You bet $10 on a football game because of Dwayne's dumb system, and you don't even know what it is?
Well, yeah.
And to think, I used to look up to you.
He's right. I want to know what the system is.
Yeah, come on, Dwayne. We won't tell anybody.
I'm not telling while Dee's in the room.
Dee, please.
Okay, I'll leave. But when you lose and the gangster corners you in the phone booth, don't call me.
All right, Dwayne, she's gone. Tell us, we got a lot of money on this.
Okay, here it is. I take the number of people who attended each team's last home game.
Yeah?
I divide that by the number of miles between each stadium.
Yeah?
And then I subtract the quarterback's number. That's how I get the score.
That's it?
Yeah.
There's got to be more to it. I mean, well, how do you know who's going to win?
Helmets.
Helmets?
Helmets. The team with the fanciest helmets is the winner.
Dwayne, please tell me you're kidding.
But I'm not kidding. That's my system. Isn't it brilliant? Huh?
Oh, that's no system. You might as well toss a coin.
I'd never do that unless both the teams had great helmets.
I can't believe I bet $10 on Tampa Bay because of your stupid system.
What are you worried about? I bet his vacation money on Tampa Bay. $500.
See, Raj, I'm not the only one to pick then.
Oh, yes, you are. He only bet Tampa Bay because I told him to. I've been giving him all your picks and taking all the credit for the winners.
Well, why you been doing that?
I just wanted to get on his good side, but I really messed things up. If Tampa Bay loses, Donna's gonna kill Ike.
You better hope she does it before he kills you.
Hi, sis.
Oh, hi, fellas. Come on in. All set for the game?
Where's Ike?
Oh, he went out to get you guys some refreshment. In the meantime, there's plenty to snack on. We've got some granola and some alfalfa sprouts and soybeans. It's all out in the kitchen.
That's not a kitchen. That's Kansas.
Wait a minute, Rita. Why don't you call the bookie and tell him Ike made a mistake?
Right. I don't know the bookie's name.
Just looking for something suspicious.
I got it. Big Al. Hey, you talk. I'm too nervous.
Hey, I don't know what to say to these people.
You think of something.
Hello? Yeah, may I speak to, Big Al?
Hello, Big Al. Yeah, this is, my name is Raj. Earl. Earl Cohen. Perhaps you could help me. What? What do I want? I want what?
This is a pizza parlor.
Hey, Ron, you got it, man. Hang up, man. Hang up.
Bye, Big.
Hey, dudes.
Hey, Ike.
Ike.
Hey, Raj, you and I gonna root real hard for Tampa Bay, my man.
Hey, right.
We don't have anything to sweat, right?
Hey, listen, Ike, I want to talk to you about something.
The game is coming on.
Hey, that's what I want to talk to you about.
Well?
Well, you know the advice I've been giving you on football games?
Yeah, 5 for 5.
Well, I haven't been picking those winners. Dwayne has. He's real good at it. He's got a special system.
Well, I've been thinking the wrong fella. Thanks, little buddy. I owe you a lot.
Yeah.
Ike, you gotta cancel that bet.
Say, Raj, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I got your $10 covered.
He's not worried about his 10. He's worried about your 500.
Why is he worried?
Well, you see, Dwayne's system is a little unusual.
See, he doesn't pick winners like you or I or anyone who knows anything about football does.
Well, Dwayne, why did you pick Tampa Bay?
I like their helmets.
You like their helmets? I bet all my men on a football team because you like their helmets.
They're really nice. They're bright orange with a pirate on it.
With a pirate on it, huh? Orange? I bet all my vacation vacation money because you like some pirate, huh?
See, Dwayne, you made him mad.
It's all your fault, hippo.
I just wanted you to like me.
Fat chance.
Couldn't you just call off the bet?
No, the game's already started, man. It's too late. What do we do now, genius?
We just got to root for Tampa Bay. Dwayne has picked 5 winners in a row.
You better pray for 6.
Somebody's running the ball.
And he's at the 15, the 10, the 5. And it's another Oakland touchdown. Oh. So just after 2 minutes of play, it's Tampa Bay trailing the Oakland Raiders 13-0. And as the gun sounds ending the first half, the score is Oakland 48 and Tampa Bay nothing.
Look at the bright side. It's only halftime.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay is a very strong second half team.
Can I go home now?
How's the game?
Oh, it's halftime, baby.
Oh, who's winning?
The guys with the ugly helmets.
What?
Oakland 48-0.
Oh, wow. Hey, listen, since it's halftime, I thought maybe you'd like to look at some of these travel brochures before I go to the hospital.
Hey, baby, I'm not in the mood now.
Oh, come on, Ike, please, look. Oh, Ike, can't you picture it? You and me lying on the white sands of Waikiki.
Waikiki? That's a lousy way to spend a vacation.
Ike, honey, it was your idea for us to go to Hawaii in the first place.
Hey, I don't want to talk about it now. I am into this game.
The game? Honey, it's 48-0. That game is over.
Hey, don't say that. You know, Tampa Bay's a strong second half team. Ain't that right, homeboy?
Right on.
Told you. Shoot.
Oh, Ike, you act like you've got a bet on the game.
Me? Are you kidding? Hey, baby, you know I gave up gambling. What makes you say something like that?
Oh, nothing other than the fact that you seem a little tense.
Tense?
And irritable.
Irritable? Hey, baby, we having a great time. Ain't we having a great time?
Okay. You and me will talk about Hawaii later.
Yeah, okay, man.
Bye, sis.
Enjoy the second half.
Yeah, be careful, baby.
I got it.
48-0. Boy, if I lose this game, looky here, I'm saying goodbye to Hawaii and my marriage.
Ike, you still got 3 weeks before your vacation. So you could scrape up enough money if you cut back a little. What's your biggest expense?
So that's it. The final score this afternoon is Oakland 62, Tampa Bay 0. Believe me, no one feels worse than the Tampa Bay players.
Wrong.
$500.
Well, thanks a lot for having us over, Ike.
$500.
We gotta do this again sometime.
$100.
I guess we'll be going, Ike.
Yeah, me too.
So long, guys.
Yeah, you too, Astrodome.
What?
Goodbye.
Isn't I great? I knew he wouldn't take this loss seriously.
$500.
I'll send for my things.
$500.
Hi.
What do you want?
I want to come home. It's a jungle out there. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I can't make it.
You've been gone exactly 1 hour.
Can I stay? I'll do anything.
Yeah, stay, but don't talk to me. What the heck that is? Oh, Lord. Big Al, come on in. Say, I thought I had until the end of the week for the money.
Well, $500 is a pretty big bet for you, bruh. So I just wanted to make sure that you be around at the end of the week.
Yeah, well, you checking up on everybody who lost tonight's game?
You the only one who lost, bruh.
Right. Speaking of losers, meet my brother-in-law.
How do you do? I bet you guys got business to discuss, huh? Hey, I'll be in the kitchen.
I think he been in the kitchen too long. Hey, look here, man, so I can't count on you for this here money, right?
Oh, yeah. Say, listen now. You still looking for part-time help down at the pizza parlor?
Oh, yeah, hey, it's a good job, too. Pay $50 a week.
I think my brother-in-law is just the man you're looking for.
Ain't nobody looking for him. He's too easy to find.
Right. Hey, man, he's dependable. And he needs the money, believe me.
All right, he got the job. Hey, now, you have him be there tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
And I'll see you at the end of the week, right?
Right.
Did he go?
Yeah, he's gone, but he'll be back at the end of the week for his money.
I'm sorry, Ike. I wish I could help.
You can and you will. I want the first 5 weeks of your salary, $250, and I'm gonna put the other $250 up.
What salary? I don't have a job.
You do now. You start working tomorrow at Al's Pizza Parlor.
I'm gonna be working.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing, I just don't know how.
It's about time you learn.
Well, it's about time you stop gambling. Don't hit me.
You got a deal.
Well, at least in a few weeks I'll have some spending money.
Wrong. In a few weeks, you start paying rent.
And then you start being nice to me?
Forget the rent.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, bye now. That was Ike.
Wow, Donna mustn't be too mad if he can still make it to the phone.
He said everything's been taken care of. He borrowed some money from a friend, and he said I don't have to pay him the $10 until he and Donna get back from Hawaii.
Well, where's Rerun?
That was the strange part. He said Rerun got a job.
A job? Is he that new whale at Marineland?
Dee, aren't you supposed to be fixing dinner?
It'll be ready in a minute. It's ready.
What's happening? How do I look?
You look like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
What are you doing?
This is my new job. I deliver pizza.
Come on, y'all, let's eat. I am starved.
Yeah, me too.
Rerun, I ordered a large pizza, half with pepperoni.
That's what you got.
What happened to the other half?
That's what I got.
Dwayne, you had a soda that's 25 cents. And Raj, you had a large orange, french fries, and hamburger that's 95 cents. Thank you.
Okay, here's $1, and you can keep the nickel.
Oh, Raj gave me a nickel. Oh, not 4 pennies, but a nickel. Raj gave the kid a nickel.
Shirley, here's some more. Here's another dime.
Thank you so much. Here. Dwayne, okay, Rerun. Now, you had a sundae, some french fries, and a pie a la mode. Hot dog, chili, side on your onion rings, malt. Hey, this is going to take some time to figure this out.
Hi, Raj.
Hi, Dee.
Oh, hi, Lee. Hi, Dee. Where you been?
Think about it, Rerun. Mouse ears, Mickey Mouse doll, and a Disneyland banner. Now, where do you think we've been?
Disneyland?
You got it, Sherlock.
Lee, you know Rerun and Dwayne already.
Yeah, hi, fellas.
And this is Shirley Wilson.
Hello, Shirley.
Shirley, that's Lee Henderson.
Oh, hi. Oh, I have to do this on the adding machine, rerun. You up to triple figures.
Lee, would you care to sit down?
Oh, gee, no, thank you, Raj. We really got to get going. I got a lot to do before dinner.
She's a little anxious about the dinner she's cooking for you tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm trying to make everything you might like. A nice juicy roast, candied yams, apple pie, chocolate layer cake.
Oh, that sounds great, Lee.
Well, nothing is too good for Bill's children.
She's a wonderful woman, Dad.
Ah, you're so right, son. Now, listen, Dee, you go on home with Roger. We'll see you later, all right?
Okay, thanks for taking me to Disneyland.
And we sure had fun, didn't we?
Yeah,
Eating all those hot dogs and going on all those rides.
yeah,
And I would say it was just about a perfect day, huh?
just about.
Yeah, well, we gotta run. We'll see you at 7:30.
Don't be late.
Hey, don't worry, we won't be.
All right.
See you, son.
Okay,
Bye now.
see you then.
See you.
Bye.
Well, you must have had some good time, huh?
Are you kidding? I had more fun getting my measles shots.
What about all the fun?
The only fun thing was getting on the flying Dumbo ride. Lee got sick.
God, that must have been embarrassing.
Daddy thought it was cute.
Well, Daddy is in love.
People think everything is cute when they're in love.
Daddy's not in love.
He's not?
Who could love anyone who wears high heels to Disneyland?
She's got a point.
Oh,
Hi, Mama.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mabel.
Hi, darling. Well, kids, how was dinner?
Dinner was fine. We had a good time, didn't we, Dee?
Sure, if you like standing in line in a pizza joint.
Lee, I thought you were cooking at home.
I was, until I burned the roast.
Well, that's all right. We put out the fire, though.
Well, that's good. Bill.
All right, sit down, Roger. Well, now, I have a very important announcement to make, and it concerns the whole family. Now, as you know, Lee and I have been seeing each other for a long time, and we've had our ups and downs, but all in all, it seems that we're able to tolerate each other's bad habits pretty well.
And one of yours is dragging out a story.
There they go, laughing and joking again. What a fun couple.
Yes, well, what I'm trying to say is, Lee and I are getting married Saturday morning.
Married?
Yeah.
To each other?
That was the...
Well, all right. I'll get some paper and I'll start making lists.
Wait, lists of what?
Of lists. I mean, we gotta have lists. That's fantastic, Lee. That's great.
This Saturday you won't.
Lee?
Yeah.
What would you think if we put some flowers along the railing here so that when you came down the staircase in your bridal gown?
Roger, your dad and I aren't planning on getting married here.
You're not?
No, Roger, we're going to get married at City Hall.
City Hall? You can't get married in City Hall.
Why not?
Because that's too cold. I mean, this is your house. Well, it's not your house, it's our house. But we're your children, and you should be in your children's house. And it's also Mama's house, and that was very dumb of me, and I'll see you in City Hall.
No, Roger, what you say makes a lot of sense.
It does?
Could have fooled me.
I think they should get married here. Not only are you both your father's children, but you're going to be Lee's stepchildren.
Like Hansel and Gretel.
Well, what do you say, baby?
Well, I think what Mabel says makes sense, and I also think that Mabel is a wonderful woman.
Oh, thank you, and so are you.
Why, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, the book says the key to a successful informal wedding is to make each guest feel at home. This is where you, the ushers, come in. You should introduce yourselves to the guests as you seat them and engage in light banter as you proceed down the aisle.
Raj, what is light banter?
You know, small talk like, hi, nice weather we're having.
Hi, nice weather we're having. What if it rains?
Then just forget the light banter and take them to their seats, okay? Now come down here. The guests will enter from here. You will greet them here. And the light banter will begin here, except for you, Rerun. Then you take them by the arm and proceed down the aisle. Oh. Dee, will you move this stuff out of the way?
No.
No. Hey, we have to practice ushering for the wedding. It's very important.
I don't see why everybody's making such a big deal out of this stupid wedding. What I'm doing is important, too.
And what are you doing?
I'm making a pair of camping shorts for Snoopy.
Hey, hold it. I'll get it. Dee, get all that junk up from there. And boys, get those chairs from out of the middle of the floor. I'll take it. Hey, come on in.
Thank you.
Hi, Mabel.
Mabel, this is Reverend Burke. Reverend Burke, this is my ex-wife, Mabel Thomas.
How do you do?
Thomas. And these are my two children, Roger and Dee.
How you doing, Reverend Burke?
Well, Bill, you didn't tell me you were going to get married in your ex-wife's house. No, I think that's just strange.
Reverend Burke, these are my friends, Rerun and Dwayne. They're going to be the ushers.
Ah, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice weather we're having.
Yes, it is.
That's right. Shall we get on with the rehearsal?
Yeah, let's get down to business. Now, when the ceremony starts, I'll be standing here behind the altar.
Excuse me, Reverend Burke, sir.
Robert, is that it?
No, sir. Roger.
Roger
Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm the best man.
Well, you have a question, Roger.
Yes, well, before we move on to the wedding party, I would like to discuss your entrance.
My entrance?
Yes, see, I'm going to have a bank of flowers along the banister here, and I thought it'd be kind of dramatic if you could sweep down the stairs.
I don't sweep, Roger. I walk.
And I love it. I love it. Walking is so good for the heart, it uses feet. Now, since we're gonna have white flowers, I was hoping maybe you could wear a red robe.
Roger, I'm a member of the clergy, not the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Oh, yes, sir. Quite true. No disrespect intended, sir. But where will you make your entrance from?
Well, I'll wait in that room there, and when the ceremony starts, I'll enter through the door.
Ah, the door. Good idea. Walking through the door, short and to the point. He's going to be walking through the door, Mama.
And Bill, you follow me out. Then your bride and her father...
Excuse me 1 minute, Reverend Burke, sir.
What is it, Roger?
Couldn't Daddy and Lee come in together? I was reading an article on second weddings and
Roger, they can come in any way they want. Let's just say they arrive at the altar somehow. I'd like to get on with the ceremony.
Oh, great, because I got tons of ideas about that.
Roger.
But you go ahead and take a crack at it. That way you'll feel more involved, okay?
The flower girl and the best man.
She got herself locked in a room and I can't get her out. I even tried to bribe her, but she said she wasn't allowed to take money from strangers.
Well, isn't anyone gonna do something? She ruined my wedding rehearsal.
Yeah, well, maybe I was a little soft on her. I'll get her out.
Hey, Bill, if I were you, I wouldn't go up and yell at her.
Hey, I know how to handle my own kid.
Just a minute. She's going to be my stepdaughter.
Well, going to be is a lot different than is.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, going to be married is a lot different than is married.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Well, that is supposed to mean...
Hold it, you two. I don't mind you getting married here, but you can't fight here.
That's right. No fighting. This is a wedding rehearsal, not a marriage rehearsal.
Yeah. You're right, Roger. I'm sorry, Lee. I guess this has been a nervous time for everybody, huh?
Yeah, I know it. I'm sorry, too.
Hey, look, everything's gonna be all right. I'll handle it. Why don't you two go along now, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Mabel,
Right.
thanks
See you.
so long.
See you tomorrow, Lee, Daddy.
Okay, sweetheart.
Now, Mama, what are we gonna do about Dee?
I'll handle it.
Good. Mama, what are you doing?
I'm handling it.
How?
By waiting until morning. When she gets hungry enough, she'll come out.
That's Dee up there, not Rerun.
Well, she's a little upset right now. We have to be patient with her. After all, it's not every day a little girl's father gets married, you know.
If it's okay if I see if I can talk to her?
Well, you can try.
Dee, open the door now. You've been in there long enough.
I haven't been up here that long. I still recognize your voice.
Come on, let me in.
I can't. I'm up here with Snoopy and he doesn't want to be disturbed.
Dee, if you open the door, I'll buy Snoopy that pop tent he's been wanting.
And his camping gear?
And his camping gear.
And a few dollars to put into his pocket just in case something comes up?
You got it.
Not me, Snoopy.
Snoopy's got it.
Say I love you, Snoopy.
What?
Say it.
I love you, Snoopy.
He didn't hear you.
I love you, Snoopy.
How was rehearsal?
Crummy.
Good.
Dee, why are you messing up Daddy's wedding?
Because I think he's making a big mistake.
What big mistake?
Her name is Lee.
Look, Dee, there's nothing wrong with Lee. I think she's a very nice person. I mean, so what if she can't cook?
But you don't know her like I do. If Daddy marries Lee, he can never get on the flying Dumbo ride.
No way that Mama and Daddy would have gotten married again anyway. Now, you know that.
But I always hoped that one evening when Daddy dropped you and me off from a weekend, Mama would say, "Why don't you stay for dinner, Bill? We're having ham." And Daddy would say, "Thank you, Mabel. You look awful pretty tonight. Is that a new dress you're wearing?" And Mama would say, "This old thing?" And Daddy would say, "Well, you look different. I mean, I see you in a whole new light." Then a lot of stuff would happen that you think I'm too young to know about. Then all of a sudden they'd be married again.
And that's a beautiful story, Dee. Except for one thing.
What?
They made each other miserable when they were married.
So what's a little misery? It's better than being alone.
Mama isn't alone. She's got us. I mean, besides, Mama likes being on her own. She has no one to answer to. She does as she pleases. She makes her own money. And she never felt better.
How do you...
Hello. Nice weather we're having.
Where I sit, fool?
Are you on the bride's side or the groom's side?
Why, are they fighting already?
Thank you.
So how we doing here? Okay. All right, hit it.
Now, repeat after me. I, Lenora,
I, Lenora,
take thee, William,
take thee, William,
as my lawful wedded husband,
as my lawful wedded husband,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
Oh! Cherish. That's big stuff, ain't it?
Until death do us part.
Until death do us part.
I, William,
Take thee, Lenora,
as my lawful wedded wife,
as my lawful wedded wife,
to love and to cherish, until death do us part.
until death do us part.
The ring, please.
The ring, please. The ring?
It's in your pocket.
Oh, man, you didn't forget a thing, did you, son?
Oh, congratulations, Lee. You're a beautiful bride.
Oh, thank you, Mabel, and thank you for this beautiful wedding.
Don't mess with this.
Dee. Oh.
Now tell me, is everything all right with you now about the wedding?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna spend lots of time with Lee and me, huh?
Yeah.
And we're gonna make lots of trips to Disneyland?
Maybe. Daddy, you wrinkled my dress.
That's all right, baby. The wedding's over now.
This wedding is over. But who knows? One of these days I might have to suit up again.
The morning air in Los Angeles had that peculiar mixture of warmth and humidity that hinted at both a summer day and an impending change, a feeling that Bill had grown accustomed to over the years but still never fully embraced, and as he stepped out of the modest, slightly cluttered apartment he shared with Rerun and Roch, he felt that familiar nervous flutter in his stomach, the kind that came not from fear but from anticipation, for today was different from any other day the trio had shared. Since the dissolution of their high school misadventures and the gradual settling into adult responsibilities and the occasional chaos that life seemed to throw in their paths, Bill had been engaged for some months now, and though the announcement had brought a wave of excitement among his friends, it also carried the weight of expectation, a silent, unspoken understanding that life was moving on and they had to adapt or be left behind. And as he walked down the sunlit sidewalk, he caught the reflection of his own image in the window of a closed cafe, his neatly pressed suit contrasting sharply with the rumpled casualness that had been his trademark, the image of a man trying to bridge the gap between youthful exuberance and the responsibilities that came with love, marriage, and the uncharted territory of domesticity. Rerun, ever the optimist and chronic schemer, was waiting for him on the corner, fiddling with his tie, which seemed to have a life of its own, twisting and curling as if it were a living entity resistant to order, and he waved with exaggerated enthusiasm, shouting a greeting that barely registered over the cacophony of morning traffic and distant sirens, and Bill's smile widened despite the tension in his shoulders, because there was something grounding in the presence of his longtime friends. The ones who had shared in his triumphs, his embarrassments, and the endless minutiae that made up the fabric of their intertwined lives, and Roch, true to form, arrived a few minutes later, carrying a small, awkwardly wrapped gift that seemed far too large for its contents, his expression a blend of pride and anxiety, the kind that betrayed his constant concern for appearances, and together the three of them walked toward the downtown district where the ceremony was to take place, exchanging quips and jokes, their banter a thin veneer over the deeper currents of reflection and apprehension that each man felt in his own way. As they neared the venue, an old converted loft that had been rented for the occasion, Bill felt the familiar swell of nerves in his chest, the kind that made one question the very foundation of their confidence even as they strode forward with apparent certainty, and he caught a glimpse of the floral arrangements outside, delicate sprays of white lilies and soft pink roses that seemed almost surreal against the rough-hewn brick and industrial windows of the loft, and he wondered briefly if the juxtaposition was intentional, a symbolic reminder that beauty and imperfection often coexist in the most unexpected of places. The interior was a blend of modern minimalism and cozy warmth, with exposed beams and polished wooden floors that echoed with each footstep, and as Bill stepped inside, he was greeted by a flurry of activity, caterers adjusting linens, photographers setting up cameras, and guests arriving in a steady stream of well-wishing and subtle social maneuvering, the air thick with perfume, cologne, and the intangible scent of expectation, and as he navigated through the crowd, he felt the weight of the day settle on his shoulders like a cloak that was both comforting and restrictive, a reminder that moments of happiness were often tempered by the invisible threads of responsibility and perception. His bride-to-be, Marcia, appeared at that moment, radiant in a gown that seemed to shimmer with a life of its own, her smile a beacon that cut through the haze of nerves and doubt, and for a fleeting second, the world narrowed to just the two of them, the past and the future blending into a singular, crystalline instant of recognition, of love acknowledged and reciprocated, and as she approached, her eyes sparkling with that unspoken certainty that comes from knowing you are about to embark on a journey that will redefine the boundaries of your existence, Bill felt a surge of confidence that momentarily eclipsed the anxiety gnawing at his stomach, and he took her hand, feeling the warmth and reassurance that only true connection can provide, a grounding force that steadied his steps as the ceremony began. The officiant, a kindly older gentleman with a voice that resonated with calm authority, began the proceedings with words that were both traditional and unexpectedly personal, weaving anecdotes and reflections into the familiar cadence of vows and promises, and Bill found himself caught between the ritualistic cadence of the moment and the raw, unfiltered emotion bubbling beneath the surface, his mind flickering briefly to his friends, Rerun, who had probably already orchestrated some minor chaos in the reception hall, and Roch, likely adjusting his tie for the fourth time since arriving, but then returning to Marcia, whose gaze held him fast, anchoring him to the here and now. As vows were exchanged, Bill could feel the pulse of history and expectation in the room, the collective energy of friends, family, and strangers united in acknowledgement of a bond that was at once intimate and public, and as he spoke the words that would bind him to Marcia, he felt an unusual clarity, a moment of perfect alignment where fear, joy, and hope converged into something indescribably pure, a realization that life, in all its messy, unpredictable, and often ridiculous glory, had brought him to this singular point of certainty. After the ceremony, as they stepped into the sunlight again, now legally united, the city seemed to shift around them, the streets less chaotic, the air less oppressive, and a quiet sense of accomplishment settled over Bill, mingled with the thrill of anticipation for the evening's festivities, where laughter, music, and dancing awaited, and where Rerun would inevitably enact some elaborate scheme to ensure that the day was remembered not just for its solemnity but for its capacity to surprise and delight. The reception hall was transformed into a wonderland of color and light, with ribbons cascading from the ceiling, twinkling fairy lights casting a gentle glow over the polished surfaces, and the scent of gourmet dishes mingling with the faint aroma of celebratory champagne, and as Bill navigated through greetings and congratulations, he realized that marriage was not merely the union of two individuals but the confluence of histories, personalities, and dreams, a chaotic, beautiful tapestry that required patience, humor, and above all, love, and he felt a renewed sense of responsibility, not just toward Marcia, but toward the idea of family, community, and the shared experiences that knit human lives together in ways both profound and delightfully mundane. Conversations buzzed around him, some intimate, others performative, yet each carrying a kernel of truth about connection, memory, and expectation, and Bill could not help but reflect on the irony of life, how a day so meticulously planned could still feel unscripted, improvised, and exhilarating in its unpredictability, and in that moment, watching Marcia laugh with her friends, feeling the clasp of Rerun's hand on his shoulder in a gesture of camaraderie, and catching Roch nervously inspecting the dessert table as though it were a strategic operation, he understood that happiness was rarely a static state but a dynamic interplay of moments, sensations, and decisions, and he embraced it fully, without reservation, as he prepared to take his first dance with Marcia, to step into a life that would be richer, more complicated, and infinitely more rewarding than any he had imagined, a life that demanded courage, humor, and an unyielding commitment to the bonds that define him and Esther. Music swelled, the crowd cheered, and the day unfurled in all its splendid, chaotic glory. Bill felt an exhilarating certainty that, despite the unknown challenges ahead, this was the right path, and the right time, and that, in the end, the truest measure of success was not perfection, but the depth of love, laughter, and connection that one carried along the way, a lesson he had learned in fits and starts, with friends by his side, mistakes as teachers, and now, finally, a partner whose hand in his was both anchor and compass, guiding him into a future that promised to be as unpredictable as it was unforgettable. As the reception unfolded, Bill felt a peculiar mix of exhilaration and exhaustion, the kind that comes not from physical strain but from the emotional intensity of a day that seemed to stretch on forever while simultaneously passing in the blink of an eye, and he found himself reflecting on the curious trajectory of his life, how the carefree days of youth with Rerun and Roch had led him through a series of trials, misadventures, and improbable successes to this singular moment where he was both fully himself and irrevocably tethered to another, Marcia, whose laughter had become the soundtrack of his current existence, a melody that both soothed and invigorated, and as he scanned the room, he noticed the intricate choreography of the reception, the subtle adjustments, the whispered directions, the small crises averted before they could bloom into disaster, and he realized that marriage, much like life itself, was a delicate balancing act between preparation and improvisation, between expectation and surprise, and that the day's events, though meticulously planned, were constantly renegotiated in real time, shaped by the personalities, moods, and idiosyncrasies of everyone present. Rerun, predictably, had already taken it upon himself to assume a leadership role of sorts, guiding guests toward the buffet, orchestrating introductions, and ensuring that the dance floor remained lively, all with a flourish that was both charming and slightly overwhelming, and Bill could not help but admire his friend's energy, even as he wondered whether the sheer force of Rerun's enthusiasm might someday result in a minor catastrophe, a spilled drink, a toppled cake, or an impromptu performance that no one had requested but everyone would remember, and yet there was an undeniable warmth in seeing Rerun in his element, fully engaged in the social dynamics of an event that, for Bill, carried profound emotional weight. Roch, on the other hand, had retreated into a different kind of engagement, meticulously inspecting the arrangements, calculating timelines in his head, and ensuring that every minor detail conformed to an invisible standard of perfection that only he seemed capable of perceiving, his nervous energy a counterbalance to Rerun's flamboyant exuberance, and Bill found himself oscillating between amusement and mild exasperation, recognizing that the combination of his friend's extremes, Rerun's chaos, and Roger's precision, had, over the years, somehow forged a steadying influence on his own temperament, and that he now relied on their contrasting energies to navigate the complexities of adult life, particularly on a day such as this. The speeches began with the customary blend of sentimentality and humor, each speaker attempting to capture the essence of Bill and Marcia's relationship in a few carefully chosen words, and Bill listened, heart-swelling, as anecdotes from childhood, college, and the early days of their courtship were recounted, each story a thread in the intricate tapestry of memory that bound him to those present, a testament to the shared experiences that had shaped not only his identity but also the collective understanding of what it meant to love and be loved, and as each tale unfolded, punctuated by laughter, applause, and occasional tears, Bill became increasingly aware of the extraordinary nature of the day, how ordinary people, each with their quirks and histories, had come together to witness a union that, while personal, was also profoundly communal, and in that realization lay a deep, almost spiritual satisfaction. The first dance with Marcia was an orchestrated yet intimate moment, the music swelling as they moved in unison, feet gliding across the polished floor, eyes locked in a private dialogue that spoke volumes more than words ever could, and Bill felt an almost dizzying sense of rightness, as if the world had momentarily paused to allow the universe to acknowledge the significance of their bond, and he marveled at the way love could both ground and elevate, anchoring him to reality, while simultaneously lifting him toward something transcendent, a sensation that was at once exhilarating and humbling. As the evening progressed, the reception took on a life of its own, a series of interconnected vignettes in which each guest became both participant and observer, contributing to an evolving narrative that was spontaneous yet coherent, chaotic yet strangely harmonious, and Bill moved through it with a mixture of awe and amusement, catching glimpses of moments that would later be recalled with fondness. The children darting between tables with reckless abandon, the older relatives exchanging knowing glances over shared memories, the subtle flirtations and private jokes that reminded him of the universality of human connection, and the occasional minor mishaps, toppled chairs, spilled drinks, a bout of food-induced laughter, that underscored the unpredictable and unscripted nature of life itself. Rerun's antics, inevitably, became a highlight of the evening, as he assumed the role of impromptu entertainer, coaxing reluctant dancers onto the floor, orchestrating playful competitions, and generally ensuring that no guest could remain disengaged for long, his energy infectious, his charisma undeniable, and while Marcia initially regarded his exuberance with mild apprehension, she soon succumbed to the humor and charm of it all, her laughter ringing out above the music like a clarion call that united the room in shared joy, and Bill could not help but be grateful for the presence of friends who understood that celebration required both structure and spontaneity, order and chaos, sentiment and levity. Meanwhile, Roger's meticulous attention to detail manifested in less conspicuous but equally important ways, subtly rearranging centerpieces, guiding servers to anticipate guest needs, ensuring that the lighting accentuated rather than overwhelmed the ambience, and occasionally offering advice that, though delivered in a quiet, almost imperceptible manner, had a profound impact on the flow of the evening, a reminder that even in moments of festivity, precision and foresight could coexist with merriment and improvisation, and that the seemingly mundane actions of one attentive individual could ripple outward, enhancing the collective experience in ways that were both subtle and significant. As the night wore on, Bill found himself reflecting on the nature of relationships, both romantic and platonic, and the ways in which human connections evolved over time, shifting in form and intensity but never truly disappearing, and he considered the myriad ways in which his own friendships had shaped his understanding of love, loyalty, and resilience, from the carefree days of adolescent misadventures to the more measured, nuanced interactions of adulthood, and he recognized the delicate balance required to maintain these bonds, the constant negotiation between self-interest and consideration for others, and the quiet satisfaction that came from knowing that, despite the challenges and occasional misunderstandings, the ties that bound him to those he cherished were enduring and profound. The night culminated in the cutting of the cake, a ritual both symbolic and celebratory, and Bill marveled at the layered complexity of the confection before him, a metaphor, perhaps, for the intricate layers of his own life, past experiences interwoven with present choices, each layer distinct yet inseparable from the whole, and as he fed Marcia a bite, and she reciprocated, laughter and applause echoing around them, he felt the unmistakable sense of continuity and renewal, the understanding that marriage was not merely the culmination of a relationship but the beginning of a new chapter, one that required patience, humor, creativity, and an unwavering commitment to shared growth and discovery, and he embraced it fully, aware that the challenges ahead would test them in ways unforeseen, but confident that together they could navigate the unpredictable currents of life with grace, resilience, and, above all, love. Conversations continued late into the evening, some drifting into philosophical musings, others devolving into playful banter, but all contributing to the rich tapestry of communal experience, and Bill moved among the groups with a mixture of attentiveness and casual detachment, recognizing that his role was both central and peripheral, participant and observer, a dynamic that mirrored the broader patterns of human engagement, where one simultaneously shapes and is shaped by the interactions, choices, and energies of those around them, and he took quiet satisfaction in the knowledge that, despite the inherent uncertainties of life, he was surrounded by individuals whose presence enriched and expanded the possibilities of his own existence. As the reception began to wind down, the music softened, the lights dimmed, and the guests gradually departed, leaving behind echoes of laughter, remnants of celebratory decor, and the intangible residue of shared joy and connection, and Bill, standing with Marcia amidst the quiet aftermath, felt an extraordinary sense of completion and anticipation, a dual awareness that this moment, while fleeting, was indelibly etched into the continuum of their lives, and that the journey ahead, though uncertain, promised adventure, discovery, and the enduring comfort of partnership, and he realized that the truest measure of happiness lay not in perfection, but in the willingness to embrace each moment fully, with awareness, gratitude, and the courage to face the unknown together, hand in hand, heart with heart, navigating the complexities, absurdities, and splendor of existence with unwavering devotion and the capacity for laughter, compassion, and enduring love. The quiet that settled over Bill and Marcia's apartment in the hours after the reception was both comforting and disorienting, a stark contrast to the whirlwind of activity and emotion that had defined the day, and as Bill sank into the sofa, still in his slightly wrinkled suit, he felt the simultaneous relief and nostalgia that often follows moments of significant life transition, the kind that leaves one suspended between reflection on the past and anticipation of the future, and he found his thoughts drifting to Rerun and Roach, wondering what mischief or meticulous adjustments they had undertaken after he had left the reception, and even as he chuckled at the thought, he recognized the essential truth that their friendship had always been a stabilizing force, a constant in the unpredictable flow of his life, and that their presence, however chaotic or precise, would continue to shape his journey as he embarked on this new chapter with Marcia. Marcia, radiant even after hours of celebration, moved around the apartment with a serene efficiency, unpacking small items from their wedding gifts, arranging flowers in vases, and placing framed photos from the day on shelves and tables, her actions deliberate and graceful, a testament to the care she brought to everything she touched, and Bill watched her with a mixture of admiration and awe, feeling the depth of connection that had drawn them together and the quiet understanding that they were entering a life that would demand patience, compromise, and a continuous nurturing of one another's strengths and vulnerabilities, and he knew in that moment that love was as much about presence and attentiveness as it was about grand gestures and declarations. The evening deepened into night, the city lights beyond the windows casting a soft glow that highlighted the contours of the room and the subtle textures of their shared environment, and Bill realized that he had never truly appreciated the poetry in the ordinary, the way light fell across a countertop, the quiet hum of the refrigerator, the way Marcia's laughter lingered in the corners of a room, until now, when these small details seemed suffused with profound significance, reminders that life's beauty often resided not in dramatic moments but in the accumulation of subtle, fleeting experiences that together created a rich tapestry of memory and emotion. Conversation between the newlyweds flowed easily, a mixture of reflection, humor, and contemplation, touching on moments from the day, the unexpected mishaps that had elicited laughter, the speeches that had evoked emotion, and the countless interactions that had, in aggregate, shaped the texture of their celebration, and as they spoke, Bill felt a deepening sense of trust and intimacy, an understanding that their bond was not merely a contractual or ceremonial arrangement but an evolving dialogue, a negotiation of values, desires, and expectations that would continue to unfold across the years, and he embraced the uncertainty inherent in such a process with a cautious optimism tempered by the lessons of his past experiences. Sleep eventually beckoned, and as Bill drifted into a restless slumber, his mind replayed fragments of the day, the sudden laughter of a child at the reception, Rerun's exaggerated antics that had elicited both amusement and exasperation, Roger's meticulous attention to detail that had subtly guided the evening's flow, and Marcia's radiant smile, a constant reminder of the emotional center around which his world now revolved, and in those fleeting dreams, the boundaries between past, present, and future blurred, the moments of youth and adulthood, chaos and order, uncertainty and clarity coalescing into an intricate, dynamic tableau that reflected the complexity and richness of a life lived fully and with intentionality. The next morning brought a sense of grounded reality, the sun streaming through partially drawn blinds, illuminating the subtle traces of the previous evening's celebration, confetti still scattered on the floor, a few empty champagne glasses on the counter, and the faint aroma of lingering desserts, and Bill found himself smiling at the tangible evidence of joy, a reminder that life's fleeting moments could leave enduring marks, both physical and emotional, and that the act of celebration, however ephemeral, created a resonance that could be felt long after the music faded and the guests departed. Plans for the days ahead began to take shape, discussions about settling into married life, coordinating schedules, managing finances, and negotiating household responsibilities, and Bill was struck by the realization that marriage, while romanticized and celebrated in ceremonies, was equally a negotiation of practicalities, a constant balancing of individual needs and shared goals, and that the love which had brought them together needed to be sustained by conscious effort, communication, and mutual respect, and he resolved to approach this new chapter with intentionality, humor, and a willingness to adapt as circumstances evolved. Friends began to visit in the following days, bearing congratulations, gifts, and anecdotal recollections that further enriched the narrative of the wedding, and Bill found himself navigating these interactions with a mixture of enthusiasm and fatigue, aware that the social dimension of marriage extended beyond the two of them to encompass the broader network of relationships, histories, and communal expectations, and that part of his role was to honor these connections while maintaining the integrity and intimacy of his own partnership, a delicate balance that required empathy, tact, and occasionally a sense of humor to mediate minor tensions or conflicting priorities. Amidst the practicalities and social engagements, moments of private reflection became increasingly significant, brief interludes in which Bill and Marcia could contemplate the significance of their union, share unspoken thoughts, and negotiate the emotional terrain of merging lives, and in these moments, Bill was continually reminded that love was not static but dynamic, requiring continuous engagement, understanding, and responsiveness to the evolving needs and desires of both partners, and that the challenges inherent in such a process were inseparable from the profound satisfaction and fulfillment that accompanied mutual growth and shared purpose. Work obligations and daily routines soon asserted their presence, demanding attention and adaptation, and Bill found himself navigating the familiar tension between professional responsibilities and the new priorities introduced by marriage, the logistical considerations of commuting, scheduling, and task management layered atop the ongoing emotional and relational dynamics of his partnership, and he recognized that the ability to integrate these dimensions seamlessly required both strategic foresight and flexibility, a recognition that the complexities of adult life were compounded but also enriched by the presence of a supportive, engaged partner, and that mutual understanding and collaboration were essential to achieving harmony amidst competing demands. Social engagements with extended family and friends continued to provide both joy and occasional friction, as diverse personalities, expectations, and histories intersected in ways that required diplomacy, patience, and adaptability, and Bill became increasingly aware of the subtle interplay between individual agency and collective influence, recognizing that successful navigation of these interactions depended on attentive observation, active listening, and the willingness to negotiate and compromise, skills that were honed over time but essential in the immediate context of post-wedding life, where impressions, interpretations, and relational dynamics were particularly heightened. Amidst these various obligations and interactions, Rerun and Roch remained integral to Bill's sense of stability and continuity, their presence a reminder of shared history, enduring friendship, and the capacity for levity even amidst serious considerations, and Bill found that moments of informal engagement with them, whether a casual meal, a shared laugh over a minor mishap, or the recounting of past escapades, provided necessary grounding, perspective, and emotional sustenance, reinforcing the interconnectedness of personal and relational well-being and the value of maintaining bonds that span both time and circumstance. As weeks turned into months, the routines and rhythms of married life began to establish themselves, a blend of shared responsibilities, coordinated decision-making, and mutual exploration of interests, goals, and aspirations, and Bill increasingly recognized the iterative, evolving nature of partnership, the way in which each day presented opportunities for learning, adaptation, and reinforcement of mutual trust and commitment, and he embraced this ongoing process with deliberate attention, humor, and an openness to the unexpected challenges and rewards that accompanied sustained relational engagement. Celebratory rituals, anniversaries, and minor domestic milestones punctuated these early months, providing opportunities for reflection, gratitude, and the reinforcement of relational bonds, and Bill found that these moments, though seemingly ordinary, carried profound significance in shaping the emotional texture of his partnership, reinforcing the lessons of patience, communication, and collaboration, and highlighting the capacity of shared experience to deepen intimacy, understanding, and mutual appreciation, even as life continued to present unexpected developments, minor crises, and opportunities for growth and adaptation. Through all of these experiences, Bill's awareness of the interplay between personal agency, relational dynamics, and broader social context grew increasingly acute, and he developed a nuanced understanding of the ways in which decisions, actions, and attitudes reverberated across multiple dimensions of life, influencing not only immediate circumstances but also longer-term trajectories of relational satisfaction, personal fulfillment, and communal integration, and he embraced this complexity with curiosity, humor, and a deepening sense of responsibility, recognizing that marriage, much like life itself, was a continuous negotiation of competing priorities, aspirations, and emotions, requiring vigilance, adaptability, and an unwavering commitment to shared growth, exploration, and mutual support. The culmination of these reflections and experiences reinforced for Bill the profound significance of his union with Marcia, not merely as a ceremonial milestone but as an ongoing, dynamic process of engagement, discovery, and co-creation, and he approached each day with renewed intention, balancing professional and personal responsibilities, navigating social expectations, fostering friendship, and cultivating intimacy, humor, and resilience, and he recognized that the richness, complexity, and fulfillment of life were inseparable from these ongoing relational efforts, and that the journey ahead, though uncertain and occasionally challenging, held the promise of enduring joy, growth, and shared adventure, anchored in love, commitment, and the sustaining presence of those who had journeyed with him through the varied landscapes of his life. The days that followed the initial glow of married life were filled with a curious mixture of routine and novelty, as Bill and Marcia navigated the subtle shifts in their relationship, discovering the ways in which the practicalities of living together required negotiation, compromise, and a constant recalibration of expectations, and Bill found himself both amused and humbled by the small surprises that emerged daily. The particular way Marcia organized the kitchen cabinets, the insistence on a strict laundry schedule, the gentle reminders about appointments or household tasks, and the little quirks that had once seemed endearing in theory but now demanded conscious attention and adaptation, yet each adjustment, rather than diminishing affection, seemed to deepen it, highlighting the intricate dance of intimacy that involved patience, humor, and an ongoing willingness to learn about the other person's rhythms, preferences, and priorities. On a particularly bright morning, Bill found himself reflecting on the trajectory of his life, recalling the days spent with Rerun and Roch, the chaotic misadventures of youth, the small victories and humiliations that had shaped his sense of self, and the profound realization that these experiences had prepared him in ways he had never consciously acknowledged for the responsibilities, joys, and challenges of married life, and he recognized that while the past was unchangeable, its influence was enduring, informing his choices, responses, and understanding of commitment, friendship, and love, and that the ability to draw wisdom from past experiences was a vital skill in navigating the complexities of partnership. Marcia, for her part, approached the unfolding days with a combination of pragmatism and grace, balancing her own ambitions and personal rhythms with the demands and expectations of shared life, and Bill observed her with admiration, recognizing that partnership required a continual interplay between individuality and unity, between pursuing personal goals and fostering collective well-being, and that their mutual commitment depended not only on emotional connection but also on a shared framework of support, respect, and strategic decision-making that would allow both to flourish both independently and together, a dynamic equilibrium that required attentiveness, negotiation, and occasional humor to maintain. Their social circle remained active, with visits from old friends, colleagues, and extended family members, each encounter providing a microcosm of relational dynamics, expectations, and communal interaction, and Bill found that navigating these social interludes required both skill and mindfulness, an awareness of subtle cues, historical context, and individual temperaments, and a willingness to balance authenticity with diplomacy, humor with discretion, and personal priorities with relational obligations, all of which contributed to a nuanced understanding of human behavior, social structure, and the intricate web of obligations and loyalties that characterize their lives. Reran's presence continued to be both a source of amusement and minor chaos, as he routinely inserted himself into their domestic routines, offering unsolicited advice, orchestrating impromptu events, and ensuring that humor, unpredictability, and occasional exaggeration remain integral components of their shared environment, and while Marcia initially expressed mild frustration at his antics, she gradually came to recognize the vitality and spontaneity that he contributed, understanding that the balance of order and chaos, precision and improvisation, was essential to sustaining energy, engagement, and joy within both friendship and marriage, and that Reran's unique brand of intervention often reminded them not to take life too seriously, even amidst responsibilities and commitments. Roch, ever the meticulous planner and observer, maintained his role as a stabilizing presence, monitoring minor details, offering practical solutions, and occasionally mediating tensions that arose from differences in temperament, priorities, or perspective, and Bill appreciated the subtle guidance that Roch provided, recognizing that friendship often involved acts of vigilance and foresight that were not immediately visible but profoundly impactful in maintaining harmony, stability, and relational satisfaction, and that the interplay between Reran's flamboyance, Roger's precision, and Bill's evolving role as a husband created a complex yet functional ecosystem of support, humor, and accountability that enriched their lives in both predictable and unexpected ways. As weeks progressed into months, Bill and Marcia encountered the inevitable challenges that accompany the merging of two lives: disagreements over household routines, differences in approach to financial planning, divergent expectations regarding social engagement, and the occasional clash of personalities and habits that revealed the depth of individuality that persisted within the context of partnership. And through each challenge, they developed strategies for negotiation, compromise, and constructive communication, learning to recognize and respect the needs, desires, and boundaries of one another, and to transform potential sources of conflict into opportunities for growth, understanding, and mutual support. Work obligations, personal ambitions, and external pressures continued to demand attention, and Bill discovered that balancing professional responsibilities with the priorities of marital life required careful time management, deliberate scheduling, and an ongoing awareness of the potential for stress, fatigue, and conflict to intrude upon domestic harmony, and he found that by maintaining clear communication, shared calendars, and a proactive approach to potential stresses, he and Marcia were able to navigate these tensions with greater ease, preserving the emotional space necessary for intimacy, playfulness, and relational growth while meeting the demands of career, social, and personal development. Amidst these practical and logistical concerns, moments of spontaneity, playfulness, and creativity remain essential, and Bill recognized that sustaining joy and connection required deliberate attention to shared experiences, humor, adventure, and novelty, whether through simple domestic rituals, occasional outings, or the occasional surprise orchestrated to disrupt routine and evoke delight, and that these actions, though small in scale, reinforce the emotional bonds of marriage. Maintaining vitality, engagement, and a sense of shared purpose and enjoyment that counterbalance the monotony, stress, or predictability inherent in everyday life. Conversations about future aspirations, family planning, travel, and lifestyle continue to evolve, punctuated by moments of reflection, debate, and shared laughter, and Bill found that the process of envisioning a shared future required both individual introspection and collaborative negotiation, an acknowledgement of personal priorities, values, and desires alongside the goals, dreams, and needs of one's partner, and a willingness to integrate these perspectives into a coherent, mutually satisfying framework for long-term planning, commitment, and fulfillment, recognizing that the success of a partnership was contingent not merely on love and affection but on the ability to plan, compromise, and navigate complex, evolving circumstances together. Social rituals, whether involving friends, colleagues, or extended family, provided ongoing opportunities to observe, participate in, and reflect upon the dynamics of community, expectation, and influence, and Bill found that engaging thoughtfully and intentionally in these interactions reinforced relational competence, social acumen, and emotional intelligence, while simultaneously contributing to the perception, support, and integration of their marriage within the broader network of personal and social relationships, highlighting the interplay between private partnership and public perception, intimacy and communal validation, autonomy and collective expectation. Reruns interventions, often playful, exaggerated, or disruptive, continued to provide comic relief, perspective, and occasional reminders of the unpredictability and joy inherent in life, while Roger's vigilance and structured approach ensured that critical details, plans, and contingencies were consistently monitored and managed, and Bill realized that the balance of these forces, chaos and order, humor and discipline, spontaneity and foresight, mirrored the broader challenges and opportunities inherent in marriage itself, emphasizing the necessity of complementary skills, diverse perspectives, and mutual respect in achieving both relational stability and personal fulfillment, and reinforcing the understanding that successful partnership depended upon the interplay of multiple, sometimes contrasting energies, each contributing to the richness, resilience, and adaptability of shared life. Amidst these ongoing dynamics, Bill and Marcia cultivated their own routines, habits, and rituals that reinforced their shared identity, whether through nightly conversations, shared meals, collaborative problem-solving, or intentional engagement with leisure and recreational activities, and Bill found that these deliberate practices created a framework of stability, predictability, and emotional security that supported both individual well-being and relational satisfaction, highlighting the significance of intentionality, mindfulness, and collaborative effort in sustaining the depth, vitality, and resilience of a committed partnership. As time progressed, the couple began to contemplate longer-term ambitions, including homeownership, career advancement, and the potential for starting a family, and Bill recognized that these decisions, while imbued with practical and financial considerations, were deeply intertwined with values, priorities, and shared vision, and that successful navigation of such choices required not only rational analysis but also emotional attunement, empathy, and mutual support, ensuring that each step forward was both considered and consensual, and that the trajectory of their shared life reflected an integration of individual and collective aspirations, challenges, and capacities for adaptation. The evolving landscape of their social, professional, and domestic life continued to provide both opportunities and challenges, with each encounter event, and decision, reinforcing the necessity of ongoing communication, reflection, and strategic engagement, and Bill recognized that mastery of these dynamics was neither instantaneous nor absolute but emerged gradually through practice, attention, and a willingness to learn from both successes and mistakes, emphasizing the iterative, evolving nature of relational growth, maturity, and partnership. Through it all, the fundamental anchor of their shared life remained the emotional, psychological, and relational connection that bound them, the awareness that despite challenges, differences, and external pressures, they were committed to cultivating, sustaining, and deepening their bond, finding joy, meaning, and fulfillment in the shared pursuit of life, love, and understanding, and recognizing that the essence of marriage was not a static state but an ongoing, dynamic process of engagement, negotiation, reflection, and growth, shaped by both deliberate choices and the unpredictable currents of lived experience, and that success in this endeavor required attentiveness, humor, patience, and above all, unwavering dedication to the mutual flourishing of both partners, an understanding that would guide them through both ordinary and extraordinary moments, challenges and triumphs, with resilience, love, and shared purpose as their constant companions. As the weeks turned into months, Bill and Marcia began to settle into a rhythm that felt both comforting and challenging, the daily routines of married life weaving together moments of intimacy, domestic responsibility, and social engagement in a pattern that was at once predictable and full of surprises, and Bill found himself marveling at the delicate balance required to navigate the complexities of shared existence, where small acts of consideration, subtle communication, and playful interactions carried as much weight as larger, more deliberate gestures, and he understood that the success of their union depended not on grandiose displays of affection or perfect alignment of opinion, but on the cumulative effect of countless small choices, attentions, and shared experiences that reinforce trust, connection, and mutual understanding, creating a resilient foundation capable of supporting both growth and joy amidst life's unpredictability. Mornings began with a ritualistic cadence of shared breakfast, newspaper readings, and casual conversation, moments that were often punctuated by Marcia's gentle insistence on organization or Bill's occasional distraction as he recounted a humorous incident from work or a memory triggered by something in the morning light, and these interludes, though mundane in isolation, formed the connective tissue of their domestic life, embedding familiarity, predictability, and emotional security into the structure of each day, while simultaneously providing opportunities for humor, creativity, and spontaneous acts of affection that kept the relationship dynamic and engaging. Their evenings were similarly structured yet imbued with potential for improvisation, from shared preparation of meals, where disagreements about seasoning or technique often dissolved into laughter and playful banter, to the selection of entertainment or quiet reflection, each activity layered with subtle negotiation, compromise, and mutual attentiveness. And Bill realized that these ordinary domestic moments were in fact arenas for the ongoing negotiation of partnership, a continuous process of understanding, adjusting, and harmonizing the rhythms, preferences, and priorities of two individuals cohabiting in shared space, and he found both challenge and satisfaction in mastering this delicate interplay. Social interactions continued to play a significant role in their lives, both as a source of enjoyment and as a test of relational acumen, as friends, family, and acquaintances offered opportunities for connection, validation, and occasional friction, and Bill discovered that navigating these encounters required a blend of diplomacy, attentiveness, humor, and authenticity, the ability to read subtle cues, anticipate potential tensions, and manage impressions while maintaining integrity and fostering genuine connection, and he came to appreciate the intricate interplay between private partnership and public perception, between intimacy and communal validation, and between autonomy and the expectations imposed by external social structures. Rerun, as ever, remained a source of both entertainment and occasional exasperation, his larger-than-life personality ensuring that no social event remained predictable or uneventful, and while Marcia initially viewed his antics with mild concern, she gradually came to appreciate the energy, levity, and spontaneity he brought, recognizing that his presence reminded them to embrace the unexpected, to find joy in chaos, and to approach life with humor and creativity, qualities that were indispensable to sustaining vitality and emotional engagement in both friendship and marriage, and that reinforced the value of maintaining connections that were simultaneously supportive, challenging, and entertaining. Roch, in contrast, continued to provide a stabilizing influence, attending to details, monitoring subtle relational dynamics, and offering guidance in a quiet, understated manner that often went unnoticed by others but had a profound impact on the smooth functioning of both social and domestic interactions, and Bill found himself increasingly reliant on Roger's presence as a reminder of the value of foresight, precision, and thoughtful observation in maintaining harmony, minimizing conflict, and enhancing relational satisfaction, while balancing Rerun's exuberance with a sense of grounded practicality, creating a dynamic triad of friendship that was both resilient and adaptable. Professional obligations began to impose additional layers of complexity, as Bill encountered the perennial challenge of balancing career demands with domestic responsibilities, the unpredictability of work schedules, deadlines, and unexpected crises requiring strategic time management, prioritization, and negotiation with Marcia. And he realized that sustaining relational harmony in the face of external pressures necessitated proactive communication, empathy, and deliberate allocation of time and energy, a process that was ongoing, iterative, and occasionally fraught with tension, yet ultimately rewarding in its ability to reinforce trust, mutual support, and the sense of shared purpose that underpinned their union. Travel, both professional and recreational, introduced further variables into their domestic equilibrium, offering opportunities for shared adventure, exploration, and novelty, while simultaneously testing flexibility, patience, and adaptability, and Bill found that the careful planning of itineraries, attention to logistics, and willingness to embrace spontaneity in moderation were critical to ensuring that such experiences strengthened, rather than strained, their bond, fostering both personal growth and relational resilience through exposure to unfamiliar environments, collaborative problem-solving, and the creation of enduring shared memories. Discussions of long-term goals became increasingly nuanced and strategic, encompassing financial planning, home ownership, investment, family planning, and the balancing of individual ambitions with collective priorities, and Bill recognized that these conversations required not only analytical skill but also emotional attunement, negotiation, and mutual understanding, as decisions made in one domain reverberated across multiple aspects of their lives, influencing satisfaction, security, and relational cohesion, and he embraced the complexity of this decision-making process as an integral part of the ongoing work of marriage, one that required sustained attention, adaptability, and collaborative problem-solving. Amidst these practical considerations, Bill and Marcia consciously cultivated opportunities for emotional intimacy, humor, and playfulness, recognizing that sustained engagement in shared enjoyment, creative endeavors, and expressions of affection was essential to maintaining vitality, emotional connection, and mutual satisfaction, and that the intentional allocation of time, attention, and energy to these dimensions reinforced relational resilience, nurtured trust, and created a reservoir of positive experiences that could buffer against inevitable stresses and challenges, ensuring that the marriage remained vibrant, fulfilling, and adaptive in the face of evolving circumstances. Community engagement and social obligations continued to offer opportunities for reflection, observation, and relational learning, as interactions with friends, colleagues, and extended family illuminated patterns of behavior, expectation, and influence, and Bill increasingly recognized that successful navigation of these dynamics required both cognitive awareness and emotional intelligence, the ability to interpret social cues, anticipate reactions, and respond thoughtfully, while simultaneously maintaining authenticity, supporting Marsha's needs, and reinforcing the integrity of their partnership, a process that was continuous, dynamic, and demanding of sustained effort, attention, and reflection. Over time, small domestic rituals, shared morning coffee, evening walks, collaborative meal preparation, nightly reflection, and intentional moments of humor or play, became both anchors and catalysts, providing structure, predictability, and emotional grounding, while simultaneously offering opportunities for novelty, creativity, and mutual engagement. And Bill recognized that the deliberate cultivation of these practices, though seemingly minor, had profound cumulative effects, reinforcing relational satisfaction, fostering resilience, and nurturing the sense of shared purpose, identity, and commitment that defined their evolving life together. Minor conflicts inevitably arose, whether over household management, social obligations, or individual preferences, and Bill learned that the constructive resolution of these conflicts required patience, active listening, compromise, and a willingness to acknowledge one's own limitations and biases, as well as those of one's partner, and that the ability to navigate disagreement without undermining affection or trust was a critical skill, one that reinforced relational cohesion, promoted understanding, and strengthened the capacity for long-term collaboration, intimacy, and mutual support, highlighting the importance of emotional regulation, perspective-taking, and strategic problem-solving in the context of partnership. Throughout these months, Bill found that the interplay of shared history, friendship, community, and emerging domestic identity provided both guidance and context, reminding him that individual growth, relational satisfaction, and communal integration were inseparable dimensions of a fulfilling life, and that the continuous negotiation, adaptation, and co-creation required in marriage reflected broader principles of human engagement, resilience, and fulfillment, emphasizing the interdependence of emotional, cognitive, and social competencies in sustaining thriving personal and relational existence. Ultimately, Bill came to understand that the essence of marriage lay not merely in the ceremonial recognition of union or the fulfillment of romantic ideals, but in the ongoing, dynamic process of engagement, negotiation, reflection, and co-creation, where moments of joy, challenge, discovery, and shared growth intersected to produce a life rich in meaning, connection, and possibility, and he embraced this understanding with deliberate intention, humor, patience, and a profound appreciation for the enduring value of love, friendship, and the collaborative cultivation of a shared future, fully aware that the journey ahead, though uncertain and occasionally turbulent, held the promise of adventure, fulfillment, and enduring partnership, guided by mutual commitment, empathy, and the capacity to find joy, resilience, and creativity in both ordinary and extraordinary moments of life together. The autumn months introduced subtle yet profound changes in the rhythm of Bill and Marsha's life, the shift in light, temperature, and seasonality reflecting in both domestic routines and emotional states, and Bill found himself attuned to the quiet, almost imperceptible patterns that define their shared existence, the way Marsha's movements, moods, and gestures shifted with the passing days, the way sunlight caught on the kitchen counters in early morning, the scent of damp leaves carried through the windows, and the way their conversations deepened in tone and content as the evenings grew longer and more contemplative, creating an intimacy that was both comforting and revealing, highlighting the evolving depth and resilience of their connection, and reminding him that marriage was not a static arrangement but an ongoing negotiation of adaptation, growth, and shared discovery. Social engagements, once primarily celebratory, now began to reflect the nuances of their adult lives, as professional obligations, family commitments, and personal priorities intersected with communal expectations and friendship dynamics, and Bill discovered that managing these interactions required a sophisticated blend of emotional intelligence, strategic planning, humor, and diplomacy, a careful calibration of presence, attentiveness, and responsiveness to ensure that both their individual identities and collective partnership were honored, supported, and integrated into the broader social fabric, while simultaneously fostering joy, connection, and meaningful engagement. Rerun remain an ever-present catalyst of activity, spontaneity, and occasional chaos, his visits and interventions unpredictable yet often illuminating, providing opportunities for laughter, reflection, and reassessment, and Bill found that reruns' influence served as both a reminder and a challenge, highlighting the need to balance order with unpredictability, responsibility with play, and attentiveness with levity, and he increasingly appreciated the ways in which these interactions encouraged resilience, adaptability, and emotional agility, both within the context of friendship and in their application to marital life, demonstrating that joy, humor, and creativity were essential to sustaining vitality, engagement, and relational satisfaction in the midst of routine, responsibility, and external pressures. Roach, conversely, continued to provide stability, foresight, and subtle guidance, monitoring details, mediating tensions, and offering practical solutions to emerging challenges with a quiet efficiency that underscored the value of observation, planning, and strategic intervention, and Bill recognized that this balance of energies, Rerun's exuberance, Roger's precision, and his own evolving capacity as a husband and partner, formed a resilient triad, a social and emotional ecosystem that supported personal growth, relational stability, and adaptive responsiveness, demonstrating the interplay of complementary skills and perspectives in sustaining both friendship and marital cohesion. The couple's domestic routines deepened, incorporating rituals and patterns that simultaneously reflected continuity and adaptation, from morning coffee rituals and shared newspaper reading to collaborative cooking, household organization, and nightly reflection, and Bill found that the intentional cultivation of these routines reinforced emotional security, relational satisfaction, and mutual understanding, providing a structured framework within which spontaneity, creativity, and shared decision-making could flourish, and emphasizing that the interplay of consistency and flexibility was central to sustaining both the rhythm and vitality of married life. Professional obligations continued to introduce additional complexity, as deadlines, meetings, and unanticipated challenges required negotiation, prioritization, and coordination between the demands of career and the needs of domestic life, and Bill found that the deliberate management of these tensions necessitated clear communication, strategic planning, and a shared commitment to supporting one another, reinforcing the importance of teamwork, empathy, and adaptive problem-solving in the context of partnership, and illustrating how external pressures can simultaneously test and strengthen relational bonds when navigated with attentiveness, patience, and mutual respect. Conversations about the future became more detailed and strategic, encompassing long-term financial planning, considerations of homeownership, travel, education, and the possibility of children, and Bill discovered that these discussions were not merely practical but deeply intertwined with values, priorities, and shared vision, requiring both analytical thought and emotional attunement, a balance of rational planning and intuitive understanding, and a commitment to integrating individual ambitions with collective goals in ways that fostered mutual satisfaction, security, and growth, while acknowledging the iterative, evolving nature of decision-making in marriage. The emotional landscape of their relationship matured alongside these practical developments, as the intensity of early infatuation gave way to deeper, more nuanced forms of connection, marked by increased empathy, attentiveness, and awareness of each other's needs, desires, and vulnerabilities, and Bill recognized that this evolution was essential to sustaining a resilient, fulfilling partnership, emphasizing the importance of continuous engagement, reflection, and adaptive responsiveness, and highlighting the dynamic interplay between emotional depth, shared experience, and relational stability. Moments of leisure, exploration, and shared creativity became increasingly valued, whether through weekend excursions, cultural activities, artistic projects, or spontaneous adventures, and Bill found that these experiences provided not only joy and novelty but also opportunities for collaboration, problem-solving, and the reinforcement of shared identity and purpose, demonstrating that play, curiosity, and exploration were critical components of marital satisfaction, resilience, and vitality, contributing to both individual well-being and relational cohesion. Interpersonal challenges continued to arise, both internally and externally, as differences in temperament, expectation, and approach occasionally produced tension or misunderstanding, and Bill learned that effective resolution required patience, active listening, perspective-taking, and constructive communication, alongside a willingness to acknowledge personal limitations, embrace compromise, and sustain affection, trust, and mutual respect, reinforcing the understanding that conflict, when navigated thoughtfully, could serve as an opportunity for growth, insight, and deepened connection, rather than merely a source of strain or dissatisfaction. The interplay between private partnership and public engagement became increasingly salient, as social obligations, professional responsibilities, and communal interactions provided both opportunities and challenges, requiring careful attention to impression management, relational negotiation, and the integration of individual and collective priorities, and Bill recognized that mastery of these dynamics was neither immediate nor absolute but emerged gradually through attentive observation, reflection, and adaptive practice, reinforcing both relational competence and personal growth, and contributing to the sustained vitality, satisfaction, and resilience of their marriage. Through these experiences, Bill and Marcia cultivated a shared understanding of the interplay between routine, novelty, responsibility, and play, recognizing that the maintenance of relational satisfaction required both structure and spontaneity, attentiveness and creativity, deliberation and flexibility, and that the conscious engagement with these dualities reinforced emotional connection, mutual trust, and shared purpose, allowing the marriage to flourish in ways that were both predictable and delightfully unpredictable, structured yet adaptive, and grounded yet aspirational. In this evolving context, the couple increasingly appreciated the value of mindfulness, presence, and intentionality, recognizing that moments of ordinary domesticity, preparing meals, tending the home, engaging in conversation, or sharing laughter, carried profound significance in the construction of relational meaning, and that the consistent, thoughtful integration of these moments into their shared life provided the emotional, psychological, and relational scaffolding necessary to sustain intimacy, resilience, and mutual satisfaction, even amidst the challenges of external pressures, personal ambitions, and the unpredictable vicissitudes of daily life. Over time, Bill observed the gradual crystallization of their partnership into a cohesive, dynamic, and adaptive entity, one in which individual strengths and vulnerabilities were acknowledged, respected, and integrated, in which challenges were navigated with patience, humor, and strategic foresight, and in which the ongoing interplay of affection, communication, and shared purpose created a robust and evolving framework for life together, illustrating the intricate interdependence of emotional, cognitive, and social competencies in sustaining thriving partnership, and reinforcing the understanding that marriage, far from being a static achievement, is an ongoing, evolving process that requires continuous attention, care, and engagement. Ultimately, these months of adjustment, discovery, and shared experience deepened Bill's appreciation for the multidimensional nature of love, commitment, and partnership, emphasizing that the success of marriage lies not solely in romantic idealization or ceremonial observance but in the sustained cultivation of relational, emotional, and practical competencies, in the deliberate integration of individuality and unity, in the capacity to embrace uncertainty and adapt to evolving circumstances, and in the ongoing commitment to mutual growth, shared purpose, and enduring connection, and understanding that guided his actions, decisions, and reflections, and that illuminated the profound significance, complexity, and richness of the life he and Marcia were co-creating together, a life marked by laughter, resilience, collaboration, and the enduring presence of love, friendship, and shared aspiration. As winter settled over the city, Bill and Marcia found themselves navigating a subtly altered rhythm of life, the chill in the air and the shortened days shifting routines, moods, and even conversations, and Bill noticed how the changing season brought both intimacy and introspection, as evenings spent in the warmth of their home offered moments of reflection, planning, and shared creativity that were less feasible during the vibrant, unpredictable summers, and he realized that the constancy of the season's turn mirrored the evolving phases of their marriage, reminding him that adaptation, patience, and mindfulness were essential for sustaining both connection and personal fulfillment, and that even in quiet, seemingly uneventful stretches, profound growth and discovery were occurring. Their domestic life, now fully established, carried a sense of rhythm and familiarity, punctuated by shared rituals, deliberate routines, and occasional moments of surprise, and Bill found both comfort and challenge in the negotiation of these routines, whether it was dividing household tasks, coordinating schedules, or simply negotiating the temperature of the apartment, and he recognized that marriage involved constant attention to the small details that undergirded daily life, the accumulation of which had profound effects on relational satisfaction, emotional security, and the sense of partnership, reinforcing that love was sustained as much through practical attentiveness as through grand gestures or shared adventure. Professional demands continued to influence their daily schedule, sometimes intensifying during year-end projects, client meetings, or unexpected crises, and Bill discovered that balancing work obligations with the emotional, social, and domestic needs of their marriage required meticulous planning, clear communication, and strategic negotiation, emphasizing the importance of foresight, flexibility, and empathy in maintaining harmony while navigating competing priorities, and demonstrating that the ability to integrate multiple domains of life effectively was a central skill for sustaining relational satisfaction and personal fulfillment. Social interactions took on additional nuance as winter holidays approached, with friends, extended family, and colleagues contributing to a busy calendar of gatherings, celebrations, and obligations, and Bill found that these occasions required both attentiveness and adaptability, balancing authenticity with diplomacy, personal needs with communal expectations, and the maintenance of individual boundaries with the cultivation of relational cohesion, and he increasingly appreciated the subtle art of managing social dynamics as an integral aspect of married life, one that could foster both satisfaction and occasional tension, yet provided opportunities for growth, humor, and shared memory-making. Reruns' presence continued to inject unpredictability and humor into their lives, often disrupting carefully laid plans or amplifying minor domestic tensions, yet simultaneously reminding Bill and Marcia of the vitality of spontaneity, the importance of laughter, and the value of embracing imperfection, and Bill found that these moments, though occasionally exasperating, offered necessary relief, perspective, and connection, underscoring the principle that flexibility, humor, and creativity were essential complements to the more structured and deliberate aspects of partnership, providing a balance that enhanced both resilience and joy. Roger's stabilizing influence remained equally critical, offering foresight, precision, and quiet guidance that mitigated potential conflicts, facilitated smooth execution of plans, and ensured that practical considerations were not overlooked in the excitement or chaos of social, professional, or domestic life, and Bill recognized that the combination of Reruns' exuberance, Roger's orderliness, and the evolving dynamics of his partnership with Marcia created a multifaceted support network that enhanced emotional, relational, and practical stability. Demonstrating the necessity of interdependent systems of support, diverse perspectives, and complementary skills in sustaining complex human relationships. The intimacy of daily domestic life was further enriched by the careful cultivation of shared routines and rituals, whether through morning coffee, collaborative meal preparation, evening walks, or nightly reflection, and Bill noted that these seemingly ordinary practices were imbued with profound relational significance, creating both a framework of predictability and stability and a platform for spontaneity, creativity, and emotional engagement, and he understood that the deliberate attention to these ordinary moments formed a foundation for trust, connection, and resilience, sustaining both the emotional and practical dimensions of marriage. Conversations about the future became increasingly nuanced, encompassing long-term financial planning, professional ambitions, travel goals, and potential family considerations, and Bill recognized that the successful negotiation of these topics required both rational analysis and emotional attunement, the integration of individual and collective priorities, and a willingness to adapt plans as circumstances evolved, emphasizing that partnership involved continuous reflection, compromise, and mutual understanding, and that foresight and adaptability were as critical to marital success as affection, humor, and shared enjoyment. Amidst the evolving routines, Bill and Marcia also sought opportunities for play, creativity, and exploration, understanding that shared experiences beyond the domestic environment fostered both connection and personal growth, and they engaged in cultural events, artistic projects, recreational activities, and occasional spontaneous adventures, appreciating that these endeavors nurtured both relational satisfaction and individual enrichment, reinforcing the principle that sustained engagement, curiosity, and novelty were integral to a fulfilling, resilient, and adaptive partnership. Minor conflicts and differences inevitably arose, whether over household arrangements, social expectations, or divergent personal preferences, and Bill learned that the effective resolution of these challenges required patience, constructive communication, active listening, and the capacity to acknowledge personal limitations and biases, as well as those of one's partner, emphasizing that the skillful navigation of conflict strengthened trust, intimacy, and relational cohesion, and that disagreements, when addressed thoughtfully, could become opportunities for growth, understanding, and deepened connection, rather than sources of resentment or distance. Through these interactions, Bill increasingly recognized the interplay between private partnership and public engagement, understanding that both spheres were interdependent, influencing each other and shaping the overall experience of married life, and that skillful management of social, professional, and communal interactions was essential to sustaining satisfaction, authenticity, and relational integrity, requiring attentiveness, adaptability, and ongoing reflection. The evolving pattern of winter life allowed for deeper contemplation, shared planning, and the consolidation of habits that reinforce both individual and joint well-being, and Bill discovered that mindfulness, presence, and intentional engagement in ordinary domestic moments, whether through conversation, shared meals, quiet reflection, or playful interaction, were essential for nurturing emotional security, intimacy, and relational satisfaction, underscoring that the deliberate cultivation of such moments created both resilience and joy in marriage. As months passed, Bill and Marcia began to integrate these lessons into broader strategies for life together, incorporating intentional communication, conflict management, social coordination, financial planning, and creative engagement into a cohesive framework that allowed for both predictability and adaptability, and he recognized that the integration of these skills not only reinforced the stability and depth of their partnership but also facilitated personal growth, resilience, and a sense of shared purpose, illustrating the multifaceted nature of sustaining a vibrant, enduring marriage. The interplay between structure and spontaneity, consistency and novelty, personal ambition and collective vision became increasingly apparent, as Bill observed the ways in which both partners contributed unique strengths, perspectives, and energies to the evolving dynamics of domestic, social, and professional life, and he understood that the intentional cultivation of complementary skills, mutual support, and shared strategies was essential for achieving equilibrium, satisfaction, and resilience, highlighting the complex, iterative, and dynamic nature of partnership. Ultimately, the experience of winter deepened Bill's appreciation for the nuanced, layered, and evolving character of married life, emphasizing that love and commitment were sustained not solely through emotional intensity or grand gestures but through ongoing attentiveness, communication, adaptability, and shared effort, and that the cumulative impact of ordinary, deliberate, and reflective engagement shaped the quality, resilience, and fulfillment of the partnership, creating a foundation for enduring connection, mutual growth, and shared adventure, and providing a framework for navigating the inevitable uncertainties, challenges, and joys of life together. In these quiet months, punctuated by social interactions, domestic rituals, professional responsibilities, and moments of creativity and play, Bill recognized that the essence of marriage was a continuous, dynamic process of co-creation, reflection, and adaptation, an intricate negotiation of individual and collective needs, a balance of predictability and spontaneity, and a deliberate cultivation of emotional, relational, and practical competencies that together sustain satisfaction, resilience, and mutual flourishing, guiding both partners toward a life enriched by love, friendship, shared purpose, and enduring connection, and illuminating the profound complexity, beauty, and significance of the life they were building together. As winter gradually gave way to early spring, Bill and Marcia sensed subtle shifts not only in the environment around them but in the texture of their domestic and emotional life. The thawing of frost and the lengthening of days mirrored the emergence of new rhythms, renewed energy, and opportunities for exploration, reflection, and relational expansion, and Bill found himself attuned to the delicate nuances of this seasonal transition, noticing how light filtered differently through their windows, how Marcia's mood brightened with the subtle warmth of the sun, and how the anticipation of outdoor activity, travel, and social engagement created a quiet sense of excitement that permeated even mundane routines, reminding him that the dynamics of marriage were continually evolving, responsive to external shifts as well as internal growth, requiring attentiveness, adaptability, and a willingness to embrace change. Their domestic routines, now deeply established, carried both familiarity and subtle flexibility, from the habitual morning coffee and light conversation to shared household tasks and evening reflection, and Bill noticed that the rhythm of shared life had achieved a balance of predictability and improvisation, allowing for both efficiency and spontaneity, and that this structure, though seemingly ordinary, provided an essential framework for trust, emotional security, and relational satisfaction, highlighting that the cultivation of small, deliberate habits had profound cumulative effects on the overall quality and resilience of the partnership. Professional responsibilities, meanwhile, continued to intersect with domestic life, creating a dynamic tension between career demands, social obligations, and the attention required for sustaining intimacy and emotional connection, and Bill discovered that careful planning, communication, and prioritization were critical in navigating these pressures, emphasizing that the ability to coordinate multiple domains of life, anticipate potential conflicts, and negotiate responsibilities collaboratively was as vital to marital success as affection, humor, and shared values, illustrating the multifaceted skill set required for thriving partnership. Social dynamics and friendships also played a prominent role in their evolving life, with visits from old friends, professional gatherings, and family interactions requiring attentiveness, diplomacy, and engagement, and Bill noticed that balancing these encounters with domestic and personal priorities demanded emotional intelligence, perspective-taking, and strategic discretion, as well as the capacity to remain authentic and responsive, and he increasingly recognized the interdependence of private relational health and public relational competence, understanding that the successful integration of these spheres contributed significantly to both satisfaction and growth within marriage. Rerun's presence remained a lively, sometimes unpredictable, influence, punctuating routines and events with humor, spontaneity, and occasional disruption, reminding Bill and Marcia of the value of laughter, levity, and embracing imperfection, and while his antics sometimes tested patience, they consistently reinforced the principle that joy, creativity, and flexibility were indispensable for sustaining energy, engagement, and resilience within a long-term partnership, highlighting the interplay of structure and spontaneity as essential to relational vitality. Roche continued to serve as a stabilizing influence, his precision, foresight, and measured interventions providing a counterbalance to Reran's exuberance and supporting the practical management of both domestic and social spheres, and Bill recognized the synergistic effect of these complementary influences, observing that the balance between order and chaos, spontaneity and planning, and reflection and action was mirrored in the ongoing negotiation of marital life, reinforcing the importance of diversity, perspective, and collaboration in sustaining functional, resilient, and fulfilling relationships. As they ventured outside the domestic sphere, the couple engaged in a variety of shared experiences that strengthened their bond, including cultural events, weekend excursions, travel, recreational activities, and creative projects, each offering opportunities for collaboration, problem-solving, and the co-creation of memories. And Bill noted that these endeavors not only enriched their shared identity but also provided fertile ground for personal growth, emotional attunement, and the reinforcement of intimacy, emphasizing the value of novelty, curiosity, and playfulness as integral components of relational satisfaction. Domestic challenges persisted, requiring negotiation and adjustment, whether in the management of household logistics, the alignment of personal preferences, or the coordination of social and professional obligations, and Bill learned that effective resolution demanded patience, active listening, perspective-taking, and a willingness to compromise while maintaining mutual respect and affection, highlighting that the handling of minor disagreements was both a skill and a relational resource. Fostering resilience, understanding, and the deepening of trust over time, and illustrating that conflict, when navigated thoughtfully, could enhance rather than diminish relational cohesion. Conversations about the future gained increasing depth, encompassing financial strategy, career trajectories, potential family planning, lifestyle choices, and long-term aspirations, and Bill observed that these discussions required a careful balance of rational planning, emotional attunement, and collaborative decision-making, integrating individual ambitions with collective priorities, and reinforcing the understanding that successful partnership involve continuous negotiation, reflection, and adaptive planning to ensure alignment, satisfaction, and resilience across multiple dimensions of life. The subtle emotional evolution of their relationship became increasingly apparent, as the initial intensity of romantic infatuation matured into a nuanced combination of trust, empathy, attentiveness, and shared understanding, and Bill found that the cultivation of these qualities was central to sustaining relational satisfaction, intimacy, and mutual growth, emphasizing that love was an active, ongoing process, reinforced through intentionality, reflection, and deliberate engagement with both. The joys and challenges of partnership. Moments of leisure, recreation, and exploration provided essential counterpoints to routine, stress, and obligation, allowing the couple to nurture curiosity, shared creativity, and playful engagement, and Bill realized that these experiences were not merely enjoyable but served as relational scaffolding, reinforcing trust, connection, and a sense of shared adventure, demonstrating that the integration of both structure and novelty was vital for long-term relational resilience and satisfaction, and that intentional engagement with these moments cultivated both emotional richness and relational depth. Winter's End also prompted reflection on accomplishments, challenges, and lessons learned, with Bill considering the ways in which he and Marcia had navigated the complexities of shared life, including communication, conflict management, financial planning, social coordination, and the integration of personal ambitions with collective goals, and he noted that the conscious attention to these domains had strengthened not only their practical capabilities but also their emotional resilience, intimacy, and mutual understanding, illustrating the holistic nature of marital competence. The couple's evolving domestic, social, and professional routines allowed for a blend of consistency and flexibility, creating a relational ecosystem that supported both predictability and novelty, attention and playfulness, and individual and shared growth, and Bill recognized that the deliberate cultivation of these qualities was essential for sustaining both immediate satisfaction and long-term resilience. Emphasizing the ongoing, dynamic, and multifaceted nature of partnership, where attention to both detail and the broader trajectory of life informed practical, emotional, and strategic decision-making. Ultimately, the transition from winter to spring underscored the iterative and evolving character of their partnership, highlighting the importance of attentiveness, adaptability, communication, and creativity, and Bill found that each experience, whether domestic, social, professional, or recreational, offered both challenges and opportunities, shaping the depth, quality, and resilience of their life together, and reinforcing the understanding that marriage was not a static endpoint but a continuous, dynamic process of co-creation, reflection, and shared growth, a process that required ongoing engagement, patience, humor, and deliberate cultivation of both relational and individual capacities. As the first signs of greenery and bloom appeared outside their windows, Bill reflected on the intricate interweaving of habits, experiences, and relationships that had brought them to this point, and he appreciated the delicate balance of routine and novelty, responsibility and play, reflection and action, and he recognized that sustaining this equilibrium required deliberate attention, collaboration, and the capacity to integrate multiple perspectives, energies, and priorities, illustrating that the richness, resilience, and fulfillment of married life arose from the ongoing interplay of these diverse elements, and that intentional engagement in each domain of experience was essential to cultivating both enduring connection and personal growth. Spring's approach also invited forward-looking contemplation, as Bill and Marcia began to consider potential travel, educational pursuits, professional developments, and creative projects, and he realized that these plans, while subject to unpredictability and the constraints of daily life, offered fertile ground for shared engagement, goal-setting, and exploration, reinforcing the principle that curiosity, collaboration, and intentional action were central to sustaining vitality, satisfaction, and mutual flourishing within a long-term partnership, and that the ongoing pursuit of novelty and growth complemented the foundational work of trust, attentiveness, and emotional support that underpinned their daily domestic and relational life. Through these experiences, Bill developed a deeper understanding of the multidimensionality of marriage, recognizing that emotional connection, practical coordination, social engagement, creative exploration, and personal growth were inseparable components of a thriving partnership, and that sustained attention, reflection, and intentionality across these domains created both resilience and fulfillment, illustrating that the enduring success of a relationship was contingent upon the dynamic integration of multiple competencies, energies, and priorities, and that the deliberate cultivation of these qualities fostered both immediate joy and long-term satisfaction. Ultimately, the unfolding of winter into spring offered Bill and Marcia opportunities for reflection, adjustment, and renewal, reinforcing the principle that marriage was a living, evolving entity, responsive to both internal and external changes, and that the conscious cultivation of attentiveness, empathy, adaptability, humor, and shared purpose was essential to sustaining a vibrant, resilient, and fulfilling life together, highlighting the profound interplay between routine, novelty, challenge, and growth that characterized the ongoing journey of committed partnership, and illuminating the enduring significance, complexity, and richness of the shared life they were continuously shaping, a life defined by love, collaboration, curiosity, and the deliberate creation of meaning, connection, and joy. As spring deepened into early summer, Bill and Marcia experienced a heightened sense of vitality and possibility, the increasing warmth and brightness of the days reflecting a renewed energy that permeated both their domestic and social spheres, and Bill noticed how the seasonal shift influenced moods, routines, and interactions, creating opportunities for exploration, shared experiences, and deeper engagement with both personal and collective aspirations, reminding him that marriage was not a static state but a dynamic interplay of attention, adaptation, and intentionality, and that each phase of life brought its own lessons, joys, and challenges that required careful negotiation, creativity, and empathy to navigate successfully. The domestic landscape had matured into a seamless integration of routines, rituals, and adaptive practices, from morning coffee and light conversation to collaborative household management and evening reflection, and Bill observed that the deliberate cultivation of these ordinary practices had profound cumulative effects on relational satisfaction, emotional security, and mutual understanding, highlighting that the sustainability of partnership was grounded as much in daily attentiveness as in extraordinary gestures or shared adventures, and that the intentional creation of structure, rhythm, and habit reinforced both trust and intimacy over time. Work responsibilities continued to present a dynamic tension with domestic life, introducing moments of stress, unpredictability, and logistical challenge, and Bill discovered that maintaining equilibrium required foresight, strategic planning, and clear communication, along with a shared willingness to compromise and collaborate, demonstrating that professional and personal spheres were inextricably linked in their impact on relational quality, and that adaptive management of these domains was a central skill in sustaining both individual satisfaction and collective stability. Social obligations and friendships remain integral to their evolving life, offering opportunities for connection, support, and amusement, while also occasionally testing patience, coordination, and emotional regulation, and Bill increasingly recognized the importance of balancing authenticity with diplomacy, individual needs with communal expectations, and attentiveness with playfulness, understanding that relational competence in broader social contexts contributed directly to the health, resilience, and satisfaction of their private partnership. Reran's role continued to inject unpredictability and levity into their lives, his visits, suggestions, and interventions often generating laughter, reflection, and minor chaos, and Bill appreciated how these moments reminded them to embrace spontaneity, joy, and imperfection, reinforcing the principle that humor, creativity, and flexibility were essential complements to the structured and intentional aspects of marriage, and that the interplay of order and chaos enriched both relational and individual well-being, fostering resilience, engagement, and mutual delight. Roach, with his measured, precise, and thoughtful presence, continued to provide a stabilizing influence, monitoring details, mediating potential conflicts, and offering subtle guidance, and Bill observed how the combination of Reran's exuberance, Roger's organization, and his own growing competencies as a partner created a multifaceted support system that enhanced emotional, relational, and practical resilience, illustrating the importance of complementary perspectives, skills, and temperaments in sustaining both friendship and marital harmony over time. The couple actively cultivated opportunities for shared creativity, exploration, and leisure, engaging in cultural events, weekend excursions, recreational activities, and occasional travel, recognizing that these experiences nurtured both connection and personal growth, and that intentional engagement in novel and collaborative pursuits reinforce intimacy, emotional attunement, and relational satisfaction. Providing balance to the routines, obligations, and responsibilities that characterize much of their daily life, and emphasizing that the deliberate integration of curiosity, play, and discovery was essential to the long-term vitality of the partnership. Minor disagreements and tensions naturally arose, whether regarding domestic arrangements, social commitments, or divergent personal preferences, and Bill learned that the constructive resolution of these challenges required patience, perspective-taking, active listening, and the willingness to compromise without compromising affection, trust, or respect, and that skillful navigation of conflict was not merely a reactive necessity but a proactive tool for deepening understanding, fostering intimacy, and building resilience, illustrating that disagreement, when handled thoughtfully, could strengthen rather than weaken relational cohesion. Conversations about long-term plans grew increasingly detailed and strategic, encompassing financial management, professional trajectories, lifestyle goals, family planning, and travel aspirations, and Bill realized that the negotiation of these matters required the careful integration of rational analysis, emotional attunement, and collaborative decision-making, balancing individual ambition with collective vision, and emphasizing the iterative nature of planning, the need for flexibility, and the ongoing cultivation of shared understanding and mutual support as central to sustaining both satisfaction and adaptability in marriage. Emotional intimacy deepened alongside these practical considerations, as the maturation of their relationship brought greater empathy, attentiveness, and awareness of one another's needs, vulnerabilities, and preferences, and Bill noted that these qualities were essential to sustaining both satisfaction and resilience, reinforcing the principle that love was not a static attribute but an active, ongoing process requiring deliberate cultivation, reflection, and engagement, and that relational health depended equally on emotional competence, mutual respect, and consistent investment in shared growth. Playfulness, creativity, and novelty continued to be deliberately integrated into their lives, whether through artistic projects, recreational activities, spontaneous adventures, or simple domestic games, and Bill recognized that these engagements fostered relational vitality, nurtured emotional connection, and balanced the more structured or obligatory aspects of life, demonstrating that intentional cultivation of joy, curiosity, and shared exploration was central to sustaining both immediacy and long-term satisfaction in partnership. The transition from winter to spring and into summer provided opportunities for reflection, consolidation, and planning, allowing the couple to assess the efficacy of routines, habits, and strategies for domestic, social, and professional integration, and Bill found that this reflective process reinforced both personal growth and relational competence, emphasizing the interdependence of practical management, emotional attunement, and deliberate engagement in sustaining thriving partnership, while highlighting the iterative, dynamic, and adaptive nature of long-term relational life. Domestic routines continue to evolve, balancing the need for stability with the advantages of flexibility and responsiveness, and Bill observed how the intentional attention to both habitual practices and adaptive improvisation created a framework for relational satisfaction, trust, and resilience, reinforcing the principle that marriage was sustained through the interplay of order, attention, play, creativity, and responsiveness to change, rather than merely through static adherence to expectation or tradition. Amidst these adjustments, both partners consciously nurtured their personal growth alongside collective goals, recognizing that the flourishing of the partnership was inseparable from the well-being, ambition, and fulfillment of each individual, and that attention to personal development, professional fulfillment, and creative expression complemented and reinforced relational stability, vitality, and satisfaction, illustrating the importance of balanced integration between autonomy and collaboration, individuality and unity, in sustaining long-term partnership. Interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, and strategic engagement with social networks continued to play a significant role in shaping their experience, as friendships, family interactions, and communal obligations presented both opportunities for connection and potential for tension, requiring attentiveness, tact, and thoughtful negotiation, and Bill increasingly appreciated how the ability to navigate these dynamics directly impacted the quality, satisfaction, and resilience of their private partnership, emphasizing the interconnection of public and private relational competencies in sustaining thriving marital life. Ultimately, the approach of Summer accentuated the iterative, evolving, and dynamic character of their relationship, highlighting the necessity of attentiveness, adaptability, reflection, humor, and intentionality, and Bill recognized that the cultivation of these qualities was essential not only for sustaining immediate satisfaction but also for supporting the long-term vitality, resilience, and fulfillment of their partnership, demonstrating that marriage was a continuous, complex, and rewarding process requiring sustained engagement, creativity, and mutual care, and that the integration of practical management, emotional depth, and shared exploration provided the foundation for a life rich in connection, meaning, and shared adventure. Through this ongoing evolution, Bill came to understand that the enduring quality of their marriage relied on the careful orchestration of domestic, social, professional, and recreational dimensions, each influencing the other, and that deliberate attention to communication, problem-solving, creative engagement, and the cultivation of novelty alongside routine reinforced both relational cohesion and personal growth, highlighting that partnership was an adaptive, multifaceted endeavor, enriched by intentionality, reflection, empathy, and humor, and sustained through the continuous interplay of love, connection, and shared purpose across the dynamic landscape of life together. As early summer unfolded, Bill and Marcia were poised to embrace both the anticipated and the unexpected, recognizing that the ongoing journey of marriage involved the integration of reflection, planning, spontaneity, and adaptation, and that each choice, experience, and interaction contributed cumulatively to the richness, resilience, and satisfaction of their shared life, illustrating that the essence of enduring partnership lay in the conscious, collaborative, and evolving construction of meaning, connection, and mutual fulfillment, an understanding that would guide them through the season ahead and beyond, providing a foundation for growth, exploration, joy, and enduring love. As summer progressed into its full vibrancy, Bill and Marcia felt a palpable shift in energy and pace, the long days and warm evenings infusing their domestic life with both opportunities and challenges, and Bill noticed how the season influenced moods, interactions, and priorities, creating a dynamic interplay between relaxation, exploration, and the ongoing responsibilities of partnership, reminding him that marriage was an evolving, adaptive process, responsive to both external conditions and internal growth, and requiring continuous attention, patience, creativity, and collaboration. The domestic sphere had now reached a mature rhythm, a blend of structured routines, shared responsibilities, and intentional flexibility, from morning coffee and leisurely breakfast conversations to collaborative meal preparation, household maintenance, and nightly reflection, and Bill recognized that these practices, seemingly ordinary, were instrumental in sustaining relational stability, fostering trust, and reinforcing mutual understanding, highlighting the cumulative power of consistent attentiveness, small gestures, and deliberate acts of care in the life of a marriage. Professional obligations continued to impose a dynamic layer of challenge and opportunity, requiring Bill to balance career ambitions, project deadlines, and client interactions with the practical and emotional needs of domestic life, and he realized that careful planning, proactive communication, and strategic prioritization were essential, and that the skillful integration of these domains reinforced both relational satisfaction and personal growth, illustrating the interdependence of individual competence and collective harmony. Social life, too, played a central role in shaping their experience, as interactions with friends, family, colleagues, and community members offered moments of connection, support, and occasionally tension, and Bill observed that navigating these dynamics demanded emotional intelligence, tact, and strategic responsiveness, balancing authenticity with diplomacy, individual preferences with collective expectations, and attentiveness with playfulness, emphasizing that successful management of external social interactions contributed directly to the health, resilience, and satisfaction of their private partnership. Rerun remained an enduring force of energy, humor, and unpredictability, frequently disrupting carefully arranged plans or amplifying minor frustrations, yet consistently reminding Bill and Marcia of the importance of levity, creativity, and embracing imperfection, and he appreciated how these moments of chaos serve as opportunities to strengthen flexibility, perspective, and mutual enjoyment, reinforcing the principle that playfulness and spontaneity were essential complements to structure, responsibility, and routine in sustaining relational vitality. Roche continued to provide stability, foresight, and measured guidance, his quiet, deliberate influence helping to mediate potential conflicts, maintain order, and ensure that practical considerations were addressed amidst the unpredictability of daily life, and Bill recognized that the combination of Rerun's exuberance, Roger's organization, and his own evolving capacity as a partner form a resilient network of support, reinforcing the value of complementary skills, perspectives, and energies in sustaining friendship, domestic harmony, and marital satisfaction. Leisure, exploration, and shared creativity became increasingly central to their life, with the couple actively seeking experiences that nurtured connection, curiosity, and collaboration, whether through cultural events, weekend excursions, recreational activities, or spontaneous adventures, and Bill observed that these pursuits not only provided immediate enjoyment but also reinforced emotional intimacy, trust, and a sense of shared identity, illustrating that the intentional integration of novelty and play into daily life was crucial to sustaining long-term relational health and satisfaction. Conflicts and disagreements, though less frequent than in earlier months, remain an inevitable aspect of partnership, whether concerning domestic arrangements, social commitments, or differences in preference or perspective, and Bill learned that constructive resolution required patience, active listening, empathy, and the willingness to compromise while maintaining respect, affection, and emotional attunement, highlighting the importance of viewing challenges as opportunities for growth, mutual understanding, and relational strengthening rather than as purely disruptive events. Discussions about the future grew more strategic and expansive, encompassing financial planning, career trajectories, lifestyle aspirations, family considerations, and shared goals, and Bill recognized that these dialogues required both analytical thinking and emotional insight, the integration of individual ambitions with collective priorities, and a capacity to adapt plans as circumstances evolved, reinforcing the iterative, adaptive nature of decision-making in a mature partnership and illustrating the balance between foresight and flexibility. Emotional depth continued to develop alongside these practical considerations, with the initial intensity of romantic infatuation giving way to a layered, nuanced form of intimacy characterized by empathy, understanding, attentiveness, and mutual support, and Bill observed that sustaining these qualities demanded consistent effort, intentional engagement, and reflection, emphasizing that love was a dynamic, evolving force, maintained not through static assumption but through active, deliberate cultivation across multiple dimensions of shared life. The integration of play, creativity, and exploration remained a key focus, with Bill and Marcia embracing both planned and spontaneous activities that fostered engagement, collaboration, and novelty, recognizing that these experiences balanced the responsibilities, routines, and obligations that structured their days, and that the deliberate nurturing of joy, curiosity, and shared adventure contributed significantly to relational resilience, satisfaction, and vitality. The seasonal transition underscored the importance of reflection, evaluation, and adaptation, as the couple assessed the effectiveness of routines, habits, and strategies for managing domestic, social, and professional life, and Bill realized that conscious attention to these domains not only strengthened relational cohesion but also promoted personal growth, resilience, and satisfaction, highlighting the holistic nature of thriving partnership and the interconnection of emotional, cognitive, and practical competencies. Domestic practices evolved further to incorporate both stability and responsiveness, as Bill and Marcia balanced structured routines with adaptive flexibility, demonstrating that marriage relied on the interplay of order, attentiveness, playfulness, creativity, and responsiveness to shifting circumstances, and that deliberate cultivation of these elements was essential to sustaining both immediate satisfaction and long-term relational health. Both partners continued to nurture personal growth alongside collective goals, acknowledging that the well-being, ambitions, and fulfillment of each individual were integral to the success and vitality of the partnership, and that supporting personal development, professional progress, and creative expression complemented and reinforced the stability, intimacy, and satisfaction of shared life, illustrating the delicate balance of autonomy and collaboration that characterize successful long-term marriage. Interpersonal and social competencies remain critical, as friendships, family relationships, and community obligations presented both opportunities and potential challenges, requiring tact, observation, and thoughtful negotiation, and Bill increasingly recognized that their ability to navigate these interactions impacted directly the quality, resilience, and satisfaction of their private life together, underscoring the interdependence of public relational skill and private relational depth. The approach of full summer provided a backdrop for reflection, adjustment, and the deliberate creation of new experiences, emphasizing that marriage was a living, evolving system responsive to both internal and external changes, and that the intentional cultivation of attentiveness, adaptability, humor, and shared purpose was essential for sustaining a vibrant, fulfilling, and resilient partnership, reinforcing the integration of practical, emotional, and creative capacities across all spheres of life. Through these months, Bill observed the delicate weaving together of domestic, social, professional, and recreational threads, recognizing that the richness, satisfaction, and resilience of their shared life derived from the ongoing, intentional interplay of these dimensions, and that sustained attention, collaboration, and adaptive responsiveness were key to cultivating both immediate joy and long-term relational fulfillment. Ultimately, the fullness of summer illuminated the cumulative effects of their deliberate engagement in daily life, highlighting that marriage was a continuous, evolving process of reflection, co-creation, adaptation, and shared growth, and Bill understood that the sustained vitality, resilience, and satisfaction of their partnership rested on the conscious integration of attention, empathy, play, creativity, and collaboration, and on the ongoing ability to navigate complexity, embrace uncertainty, and cultivate meaning, joy, and mutual flourishing, creating a life together that was both profoundly satisfying and resilient in the face of life's inevitable unpredictability. As the long summer days unfolded, Bill and Marcia approached each moment with heightened awareness, deliberate engagement, and playful curiosity, understanding that the ongoing process of marriage demanded continuous attention, emotional depth, strategic planning, and creative flexibility, and that the cumulative impact of these efforts created a resilient, vibrant, and deeply fulfilling partnership, sustaining both individual growth and shared purpose, and allowing them to navigate the unfolding season, and life itself, with confidence, humor, and enduring love. As summer gradually shifted toward late summer, the rhythms of Bill and Marcia's life reflected both the accumulated lessons of previous months and the anticipation of upcoming changes, and Bill noticed how the passing season brought a unique combination of energy, reflection, and subtle tension, creating opportunities for both growth and adjustment, as well as moments of quiet appreciation for the depth, intimacy, and resilience of their evolving partnership, and he realized that marriage required constant awareness of the shifting interplay between personal, domestic, social, and professional domains, as well as the intentional cultivation of both stability and adaptability in navigating life together. The domestic environment had now solidified into a complex yet harmonious ecosystem of routines, rituals, and adaptive practices, encompassing morning conversations over coffee, shared meal preparation, the negotiation of household responsibilities, evening reflection, and spontaneous activities, and Bill recognized that these practices, while seemingly ordinary, were essential in sustaining trust, emotional security, and relational satisfaction, reinforcing the understanding that the Foundation of a thriving marriage lay in consistent attentiveness, small acts of care, and deliberate, ongoing engagement. Professional responsibilities continued to intersect dynamically with domestic life, bringing both opportunities and pressures, and Bill found that strategic planning, proactive communication, and the thoughtful balancing of competing priorities were essential in maintaining equilibrium, ensuring that career ambitions, client demands, and professional growth did not come at the expense of relational health or shared domestic harmony, illustrating the interconnected nature of personal, relational, and professional competencies. Social engagement remained a central aspect of their lives, with interactions with friends, family, and colleagues providing both support and challenge, and Bill observed that successful navigation of these dynamics required emotional intelligence, attentiveness, tact, and discernment, balancing authenticity with diplomacy, individual needs with communal expectations, and the integration of personal and relational priorities, highlighting the critical role of public relational skill in sustaining private relational depth and satisfaction. Rerun's presence continued to provide both unpredictability and joy, as his interventions, humor, and spontaneous ideas frequently disrupted established routines while simultaneously enriching their experiences and reminding them of the importance of levity, creativity, and flexibility, and Bill appreciated how these moments reinforce resilience, perspective, and engagement, underscoring the principle that playfulness and adaptability were central to sustaining relational vitality and satisfaction over time. Roach remained a stabilizing force, offering foresight, organization, and measured guidance, helping to mediate potential conflicts, anticipate challenges, and maintain practical order amidst the unpredictability of daily life, and Bill recognized that the combination of Rerun's exuberance, Roger's reliability, and his own evolving competencies as a partner created a complementary and resilient network that supported both emotional depth and practical stability, reinforcing the importance of diverse skills, perspectives, and energies in sustaining thriving relationships. Leisure, creativity, and shared exploration became increasingly intentional, with Bill and Marcia seeking activities that nurtured connection, curiosity, and collaboration, ranging from cultural events and artistic projects to recreational adventures and travel opportunities, and Bill noted that these experiences not only provided enjoyment but also deepened intimacy, trust, and relational cohesion, illustrating the critical role of novelty, shared engagement, and playful exploration in maintaining a vibrant, resilient, and fulfilling partnership. Occasional conflicts or differences of opinion continued to arise, whether regarding household arrangements, social plans, or individual preferences, and Bill learned that the thoughtful, patient resolution of these issues required active listening, empathy, constructive communication, and the willingness to compromise without diminishing respect, affection, or mutual understanding, reinforcing the idea that challenges could be opportunities for growth, insight, and deepen relational connection rather than merely sources of tension or strain. Discussions about future plans became increasingly sophisticated, addressing financial management, professional trajectories, lifestyle aspirations, family considerations, and shared goals, and Bill realized that these conversations required the integration of rational foresight, emotional attunement, and collaborative decision-making, balancing individual ambitions with collective priorities, emphasizing that strategic, adaptive planning was a vital component of sustaining long-term partnership while also fostering shared purpose and personal fulfillment. Emotional intimacy matured alongside these practical considerations, as the early intensity of romantic attraction evolved into nuanced empathy, attentiveness, understanding, and mutual support, and Bill recognized that maintaining these qualities necessitated consistent effort, reflection, and deliberate engagement, reinforcing the principle that love and connection were active, evolving forces, shaped by intentionality, communication, and responsive attention across the full spectrum of shared experience. The integration of playful exploration and creative engagement remained a central pillar of their relationship, with both partners deliberately seeking experiences that encouraged collaboration, novelty, and shared curiosity, understanding that these pursuits complemented the structure, responsibility, and routine necessary for day-to-day functioning, and that balancing joy, creativity, and spontaneity with practical obligations strengthened both emotional connection and relational resilience. Seasonal transition and the approach of late summer encouraged reflection on achievements, challenges, and opportunities for growth, allowing Bill and Marcia to assess the effectiveness of their routines, domestic strategies, and approaches to social and professional integration, and Bill observed that this reflective process reinforced both relational competence and personal development, emphasizing the interconnectedness of practical management, emotional awareness, and deliberate engagement. In cultivating a thriving partnership, domestic life evolved further to accommodate both consistency and flexibility, as routines and habits provided stability while adaptive improvisation allowed responsiveness to new circumstances, and Bill noted that marriage required the ongoing interplay of structure, attentiveness, creativity, and adaptability, with deliberate attention to these elements reinforcing satisfaction, trust, and resilience, highlighting the iterative and dynamic nature of relational life. Both partners continued to nurture their individual development alongside collective aspirations, acknowledging that personal growth, professional fulfillment, and creative expression were essential to the vitality and sustainability of the partnership, and that supporting each other's autonomy and ambitions enhanced relational stability, intimacy, and satisfaction, reinforcing the principle that successful long-term marriage integrates individual well-being with shared purpose and collaboration. Interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, and thoughtful engagement with social networks remain critical, as friendships, family obligations, and communal interactions offered both opportunities for enrichment and potential sources of stress, requiring observation, discernment, and adaptive response, and Bill increasingly recognized that relational competence in public spheres had a direct impact on the quality, resilience, and satisfaction of private life, highlighting the interdependence of social skill, emotional depth, and relational intentionality in sustaining thriving partnerships. The unfolding of late summer emphasized the ongoing, evolving character of their marriage, illustrating the necessity of attentiveness, adaptability, communication, humor, and deliberate engagement, and Bill understood that cultivating these qualities was essential not only for immediate satisfaction but also for the long-term resilience, depth, and fulfillment of their relationship, demonstrating that marriage was a continuous, complex, and rewarding process requiring consistent effort, creativity, and mutual care. Through these experiences, Bill observed how domestic, social, professional, and recreational aspects of life were interwoven, each influencing the other, and he realized that the richness, resilience, and satisfaction of their shared life depended on the ongoing, intentional integration of these dimensions, supported by reflection, attentiveness, collaboration, and adaptive responsiveness, reinforcing the dynamic, multifaceted, and adaptive nature of thriving partnership. Ultimately, late summer highlighted the cumulative effect of deliberate engagement in daily life, illustrating that marriage was not a static achievement but a living, evolving system requiring reflection, co-creation, adaptation, and ongoing attention, and Bill recognized that the sustained vitality, joy, and resilience of their partnership relied on the conscious integration of emotional depth, practical skill, creativity, and play, alongside the capacity to navigate complexity, uncertainty, and change, cultivating a shared life rich in connection, meaning, and enduring love. As the season reached its peak, Bill and Marcia embraced both planned experiences and spontaneous adventures, understanding that the ongoing work of marriage required attentiveness, collaboration, and creative engagement, and that the cumulative effect of these efforts fostered resilience, satisfaction, and growth, allowing them to navigate life's unfolding challenges and opportunities with humor, intentionality, and enduring affection, and to build a partnership defined by both depth and adaptability, by joy and responsibility, and by the continuous, evolving integration of love, curiosity, and shared purpose. In this late summer phase, Bill came to fully appreciate the intricate balance of routine, novelty, reflection, and action that defined their life together, realizing that the ongoing cultivation of attentiveness, empathy, play, creativity, and collaboration was essential for sustaining the depth, vitality, and fulfillment of their marriage, and that the intentional integration of these elements across domestic, social, professional, and recreational spheres provided a foundation for enduring love, shared growth, and mutual flourishing that would carry them into the months and years ahead, resilient, joyful, and fully engaged in the continuous process of co-creating a life together. As late summer gave way to the first whispers of autumn, Bill and Marcia felt the deepening texture of their shared life, the culmination of months of adjustment, reflection, and deliberate cultivation of both domestic routines and relational skills, and Bill noticed how the changing season mirrored the evolving complexity, resilience, and depth of their partnership, creating an atmosphere rich with both possibility and reflection, where small details, habits, and gestures accumulated into a profound sense of connection, intimacy, and shared purpose, reminding him that marriage was a continuous, evolving process shaped by both intention and circumstance. Their home, now a lived-in testament to both routine and creativity, carried the subtle imprints of their shared life, the carefully arranged morning coffee rituals, the collaborative approach to meal preparation, the unspoken understanding of household responsibilities, and the nightly reflections that had become both a pause and a connective thread weaving together the multiplicity of their experiences. And Bill realized that these ordinary practices were anything but trivial, for they embodied the attentiveness, patience, and care that sustained both emotional security and relational satisfaction over time. Professional life continued to interlace with their domestic sphere, offering both challenges and opportunities, and Bill recognized that effective navigation of career demands, project deadlines, and professional ambitions required constant negotiation, foresight, and communication, balanced against the needs, rhythms, and emotional well-being of their shared domestic life, emphasizing that the integration of multiple life domains was both necessary and rewarding, shaping their capacity to thrive together in a complex world. Social interactions remain a dynamic component of their experience, encompassing family gatherings, friendships, and communal engagements that provided support, connection, and occasional tension, and Bill observed that successful navigation of these interactions demanded attentiveness, tact, empathy, and strategic discernment, balancing authenticity with diplomacy, personal preference with relational responsibility, and the integration of individual goals with shared priorities, illustrating the interdependence of public relational competence and private relational depth in sustaining a thriving partnership. Rerun's ever-present energy continued to inject humor, unpredictability, and playfulness into their lives, punctuating routines with moments of surprise, laughter, and occasionally minor frustration, and Bill recognized that these interventions were not merely sources of amusement but integral reminders of the vitality, spontaneity, and flexibility necessary to maintain relational engagement and resilience, highlighting the interplay between structure and improvisation, order and chaos, seriousness and levity in sustaining a vibrant and enduring marriage. Roger's steady influence persisted as a stabilizing force, providing measured guidance, foresight, and reliability that ensured both practical matters and relational dynamics were thoughtfully managed, and Bill reflected on the synergistic effect of Rerun's exuberance, Roger's orderliness, and his own growing competencies as a partner, noting that the combination of these complementary energies formed a resilient network that supported both emotional depth and practical stability, illustrating the critical role of diverse perspectives, skills, and temperaments in fostering relational satisfaction and sustainability. Intentional leisure, creativity, and shared exploration remain central, with Bill and Marcia pursuing activities that fostered collaboration, novelty, and curiosity, from cultural outings and artistic projects to recreational adventures and travel experiences, and he realized that these pursuits were as essential to their marriage as routine, responsibility, and structure, reinforcing intimacy, trust, and a sense of shared identity, and demonstrating the necessity of balancing playfulness with practicality, spontaneity with deliberation, and novelty with stability. Minor conflicts and divergent preferences naturally arose, whether in the coordination of domestic responsibilities, the negotiation of social plans, or the balancing of personal and shared priorities, and Bill learned that the thoughtful resolution of these challenges, through active listening, patience, empathy, and compromise, strengthened relational cohesion, trust, and understanding, illustrating that disagreements, when navigated constructively, could be transformative opportunities for growth and mutual insight rather than sources of estrangement or resentment. Discussions about long-term goals continued to evolve, encompassing financial management, professional development, lifestyle planning, family considerations, and shared ambitions, and Bill recognized that these conversations required a delicate integration of rational foresight, emotional attunement, and collaborative negotiation, balancing individual aspirations with collective purpose, and reinforcing the iterative, adaptive, and intentional nature of partnership planning, emphasizing flexibility and responsiveness as key components of sustainable, thriving marriage. Emotional intimacy matured alongside these practical engagements, evolving from initial infatuation to a nuanced combination of empathy, attentiveness, understanding, and consistent support, and Bill observed that sustaining this depth required continuous effort, reflection, and engagement, underscoring the principle that love was an evolving, active force, maintained through deliberate action, communication, and responsiveness, rather than a static condition or mere consequence of circumstance. The integration of play, creativity, and novelty continued to fortify their connection, with intentional shared activities fostering engagement, mutual discovery, and relational vitality, and Bill understood that these experiences complemented the more structured and obligatory aspects of life, reinforcing resilience, satisfaction, and emotional connection, demonstrating that the deliberate inclusion of joy and curiosity was essential for maintaining both immediacy and long-term relational fulfillment. Late summer's approach encouraged reflection on their collective progress, the efficacy of domestic routines, social strategies, and professional coordination, and Bill noted that this reflective process reinforced relational competence, personal growth, and emotional resilience, illustrating the interdependence of practical, emotional, and intentional engagement in sustaining thriving partnership and highlighting the ongoing, dynamic nature of committed life together. Domestic life evolved further to incorporate both consistency and adaptability, with routines providing stability and adaptive improvisation allowing for responsiveness to change, and Bill observed that marriage required a delicate balance of structure, attentiveness, creativity, and flexibility, where deliberate attention to these domains fostered both trust and resilience, emphasizing the iterative, dynamic, and multidimensional character of relational life. Both partners actively supported individual growth alongside shared goals, recognizing that personal development, creative exploration, and professional fulfillment were integral to sustaining the vitality and satisfaction of the partnership, and that fostering autonomy while nurturing collaboration reinforced relational intimacy, trust, and enduring satisfaction, illustrating the symbiotic relationship between individual and shared flourishing in long-term marriage. Interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, and thoughtful engagement with social networks remain central, as friendships, family interactions, and community obligations provided both enrichment and challenge, requiring observation, empathy, and strategic responsiveness, and Bill increasingly recognized that relational competence in public spheres directly influenced the quality, satisfaction, and resilience of private partnership, reinforcing the importance of integrating emotional depth, attentiveness, and adaptability across multiple contexts. The transition into early autumn highlighted the ongoing, evolving character of their marriage, emphasizing that attentiveness, reflection, communication, creativity, humor, and collaboration were essential for sustaining both immediate satisfaction and long-term vitality, and Bill understood that these qualities, consciously cultivated, were the foundation for resilience, intimacy, and fulfillment, illustrating that marriage was a living, adaptive, and richly complex system requiring continual investment, engagement, and shared purpose. Through these experiences, Bill observed the interconnectedness of domestic, social, professional, and recreational dimensions, understanding that the richness and satisfaction of shared life depended on the intentional integration of these elements, supported by reflection, attentiveness, and adaptive collaboration, highlighting the multidimensional nature of thriving partnership and the interplay of routine, novelty, challenge, and joy. Ultimately, the unfolding of late summer and the approach of autumn underscored the cumulative impact of sustained, deliberate engagement in daily life, illustrating that marriage was not a static achievement but a continuous, evolving process of co-creation, reflection, and adaptation, and Bill recognized that the enduring vitality, joy, and resilience of their relationship relied on integrating emotional depth, practical skill, creativity, playfulness, and collaboration, alongside the capacity to navigate complexity, uncertainty, and change, cultivating a life rich in connection, meaning, and enduring love. As the season fully transitioned, Bill and Marcia embraced the balance of routine and novelty, responsibility and play, reflection and spontaneity, recognizing that the ongoing work of marriage required continuous attention, empathy, and intentionality, and that the accumulation of these efforts had created a resilient, deeply satisfying, and vibrant partnership, capable of weathering uncertainty, celebrating joy, and continuously evolving, embodying the profound integration of love, shared purpose, curiosity, and enduring connection that defined the life they had built together and would continue to cultivate for years to come.